shoot. No, I went into what the heck was that? That was a
kind
song.
of went into It's My Life, Bon Jovi. You went into Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
John Gruden would have loved that. Remember his 04 Bucks?
Yeah.
Remember they played? How crazy is that? That was his favorite song, and they played at halftime of his Super Bowl that he won.
Sorry, what did you say? The what? The what?
Bon Jovi, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but
Buccaneers.
What? Yeah, what Bucks?
02 Bucks. Did I say 04?
Oh, okay. I thought you said 04.
I think
I
I
was
did.
going to rake you over the coals.
No, I think I did.
Yeah.
But then since you called, I go, I made a mistake somewhere, and I found it. Yeah, it was 02.
Yeah.
02 Bucks. Yeah.
02 Bucks. Yeah. Yeah, it was the Eagles were 04. I see.
Yep,
I see what you
that's
did.
right.
Their Super Bowl. I got it.
Yeah.
Look at us, twins.
We're doing
twins. I know how the
we should
mind
do a
works.
podcast. We should do a podcast
Now,
together.
what's funny is even though I sang Bon Jovi, we were attempting to do the Ted Lasso, which very different. Very, very different.
I just restarted it. That's why I'm 6 deep. I just binged like 6 the last night or two, and yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is not what it's the Mumford & Son one. I don't think that's it. That probably wasn't it. That's why I just want to do
Mumford & Sons doing Bon Jovi.
That was Mumford & Sons in a karaoke bar doing a Bon Jovi song.
I love it.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time we've brought up Mumford & Sons on the podcast, too. Because do you remember my camping?
You were driving around
and
the
I was
hills.
listening.
You were driving around the hills. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the theme of our
so
podcast.
Yeah, it's Mumford & Sons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take this time to bring up that music video again. There's a music video, official music video for Mumford & Sons that has Jason Sudeikis, Jason Bateman, Will Forte, and Ed Helms all playing.
Wow.
It's when they were on SNL, and then I think Bateman was hosting.
Do you remember the song? What song is it? They're big.
If you Google up like Mumford & Sons, and then do like
I'll just put music video. It'll pop up. It'll probably be
and do like Bateman or something, because
Hopeless Wanderer.
Like Jason.
That's what it looks like.
I think that's it. Yeah. It is hysterical.
I'll watch it.
It's from 2013. Wow, holy crap! I feel old. But yeah, that is. It's an incredible video.
I'm gonna cue it up for once we're done. Once we're done podding.
Yeah.
Did you like that? Huh? We just jumped right into it, huh? Huh, listener? This is pretty good, right?
We did. I think, for today, I think we actually have.
Let's do an intro.
A shorter episode.
We do.
Because last week we
lied.
we got a shorter episode. I think it might have been our longest to date.
We ripped it for 2. We ripped it for 2. Well, it was your wedding. Come on.
It was the wedding. We were having fun. Yeah.
You guys forgive us, right? Come on.
Yeah. And so this, though, we recorded that last one. The scheduling got all wonky for us. Right. So we got the Friday record for the last one. This one, we got a Wednesday now. Less has happened in between.
Right.
So I think we
promise.
We'll come up a little bit.
We promise. We promise. It'll be shorter.
Fingers crossed. Perfect. But I think we can do our usual. We already talked about the birds because they had that Thursday. So we already kind of hit that a little bit, which was kind of nice with the scheduling. But we can talk about some things that have changed, some fallout, and we'll jump into the pick'ems, do our usual thing. And we've had a couple of Yardley Bowls back to back in a couple leagues for us. Which is, did you like what I put in the group chat? Did you ever get a kick out of that with the LA guys?
Where I couldn't find a good GIF because Jake had put in the group chat another Yardley Bowl fighting for last place. I think you said something like that, right?
Yeah. Well, there's the 2 first place guys are playing each other, and so they texted and said, Clash of Titans this week, and I said equally as compelling is the Yardley Bowl for last place,
right? And I couldn't find a good enough. There was no GIF of crabs trying to pull other crabs down at the bottom of a barrel. I couldn't find that GIF.
over the pot. The crab's usually a boiling pot, right?
Oh, I thought it was a
I guess
barrel.
not.
That makes more
not.
sense. I'm
know.
imagining the water.
No,
it's
I
like
think
the steam's coming up, about to get boiled alive or something.
You know what I was looking for
What were
on
you
the
looking?
gifts?
What were you
I
looking
was
for in
trying
the
to
gifts?
I was trying to find the semi-pro reference where it's the Mega Bowl.
Mega
There's a
Bowl.
trophy. It's 12 feet tall. I've seen it. It's incredible.
Third place. It's third place. Mega Bowl.
Yeah, it's Mega Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to find a Mega Bowl gif, but I couldn't. So
there's a really thin line between huckster, con artist, and the other side of the line is brilliant promoter. brilliant promoter.
What was that first word you said? I didn't even recognize it. What did you say?
A huckster.
Huckster?
Yeah, a huckster.
What's a huckster?
Like a con artist. This is someone that's peddling snake oil, you know?
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Snake oil salesman.
Yeah,
I've heard
snake oil
that.
salesman, a huckster, like getting one over
a
on
huckster.
Yeah, I'll look it up to give you the exact definition so I know
I've never that's fun.
Huckster.
I don't know my old English
so a person who smells so this is, I guess, less nefarious than I thought, but it's a person who sells small items either door to door or from a stall or a small store. So they're just hucking stuff. So I guess it's less nefarious than I thought. Oh, but this does say serves biased interest using pushy or showy tactics. Historically, it's meant for a type of peddler or vendor, assumed as a pejorative connotation. Okay, so I was right. Okay, so there is a little bit of
That's us.
Yeah,
we're hucking.
Yeah,
we're hucking.
Hucking a Yardley Bowl.
Yeah,
the Yardley Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. Yardley Bowl. And it's back. Prime time.
Rematch. Death match in the cage. Yeah.
In the cage. Because what do we have it in the family league.
That's right. Jake and I had a death match last week. And honestly, there was some real drama to the way the games played out. I can kind of dive into this top note here. It's Sunday. You're excited. You're a fantasy player. You're excited to look at all your teams on your app, whether that's Sleeper or Yahoo or ESPN. You're looking down and it gives you little indications of like who's playing now. And sometimes it'll light up. It'll be green or grayed out if they're not playing. And and so you're excited to see who's going to play, who's not going to play. You could see the opponent, who they're playing and who's not going to play. I bring this up because it is Sunday. The 1 o'clock games on the East Coast, the 10 o'clock game, the first round of games, and Jake's nearly his entire team is playing in the 1 o'clock, and it was like a tidal wave of. I texted Jake. I feel like a small Japanese boy standing in the crescent shore of the receded shoreline right before tidal wave. I was just looking up at this huge tidal wave of fantasy points that were about to crash down on me. And I was just collecting seashells. Trying to look. And your guys, they came in fast and furious. They came fast and furious to start.
They did, and it was fun while it lasted. Because you buried the lead. You did win with a monstrous Bijan Monday night.
That's right.
With 33 in that league, and you won by 7.
I needed 30. I needed really 28, I think was the number. But in my head, I was like, just get 30, Bijan, get 30. And he ended up with 33. And I watched that Falcons game because the other league, all they had was Drake London. Drake London did the same thing for me in another league where I needed him to outscore Jaden Daniels, basically. And he just that whole Monday night Falcons game, I could just hear Creed playing "There Goes My Hero" because it was Bijan winning the Yardley Bowl for me and Drake London winning another game to salvage 500 in our oldest league.
Which we've established from, I forget, like one of our first episodes from Max's wedding outing where you told a great story, but what was the type of rock that is? It's
That's right. Stank
re-
rock, I believe.
stank
I
rock.
think it's stank
Yeah,
rock, and I might
yeah,
be missing. I
that sounds right.
still don't know if
I
that's
think
right, but that's what
that
we
might have
settled on.
been one of the titles of the episode, if
Yeah.
memory serves.
And
I
so
think it was in, yeah.
yeah,
So
that's right. I felt like this is from the story where a friend of ours bashed a bottle of beer in the middle of a dance floor at a wedding, and I did feel like I could do that after Monday night with my Falcons fantasy players. Yeah.
Well, I will say I will hide behind excuses after this performance because I had a lot of people on bye, a lot of injuries, finishing up a suspension. You got the B squad, and it wasn't legitimate. It wasn't legitimate, and other things that support me and are against me. So, yeah, I think that's just pretty fair.
That's
But
what you get for getting a guy on suspension, Jake. That's what you get. That's what you have to pay for. Is you have to pay.
I know, but here's the week. He's back. Great parlay into this coming week because we've got Rashee Rice coming back.
He's back, baby.
And he's going to be playing you in the other league. So I've got the other league, the LA league. We're playing each other back to back Yardley Bowl. I'll tell you what, it feels like it is funny though, because I did the big trade. We were talking about it off the pod here, but I guess we can chat about it. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I've never been a big trader, but this year, I don't know what it is.
You got the bug.
I'm trading left and right.
Yeah.
And maybe it's my teams are so bad. I'm just like, change it all.
Yeah.
Line shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the LA league, I feel good about the team, but the record is horrendous.
Do you want to review the trade so the listener knows who you got?
So
because this is another blockbuster, and it's funny because it reflects another trade on this podcast that we had, right? So that's why I think it'd be funny to go over your trade. Just kind of.
So I ended up trading away Saquon, Addison, and then Godwin, and I got in return Justin Jefferson and Bucky Irving, which Bucky's hurt, Godwin's hurt, a couple of injured guys. But it's funny because I was just thinking about it today where I was like, I don't know what it is with me. I just keep kicking the can down the road. Like I finally have my guy off suspension and I trade for an injured Bucky Irving where I'm again waiting for a player to return. Yeah. I'm a sicko for the potential of what the team could be. Yep. I think I'd be a good GM because I keep kicking the can down. I keep accumulating assets, and eventually it just hits a tipping point where you're just firing. Yeah, gotta get wins.
Well, we talked about it in one of the earlier pods. We'll be GMs, but it'll be for the London Knights, if you recall, the expansion team.
That's right.
Or
the Portland Lumberjacks.
The Lumberjacks, that's right. The Lumberjacks would be great.
That's our domestic
closer to family there. That would be great. The Jacks. People say, "Oh, the Jacks are playing," and we're the GMs.
They actually do have another Lumberjack team, so we might have to workshop a different team. I think it's their like women's soccer or something. Lumberjacks.
Woodpeckers. Off the top of my head.
Ooh,
Woodpeckers.
The Peckers.
Because it's like
pretty fierce.
We could be cheeky with it, with the branding.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
And Woody Woodpecker. We try to find out, maybe buy that copyright. I don't know. That's probably expensive. That would be expensive, but we could be the Woodpeckers.
We'll workshop it.
If
people have ideas of what kind of Portland or London football team names that we should have for our expansion team,
please hit us up on our Instagram. You can hit us up on our Instagram. Jake just put up our Instagram. Is that right, Jake?
Sure did. I had it out. It's at Going Yard. Pretty straightforward. Let me double check because I want to make sure.
If you're thinking,
correct.
What's an expansion team in Portland? What would be a good one? We'll review it. We'll talk about it, and we'll
going.yard.podcast. There it is. Oh wow, 8 followers. That's fantastic,
guys. So you're in the ground floor. You're in the ground floor. This is
are.
This is
like I didn't even. I haven't released or posted anything. That was just
this.
people,
We're still in the soft open here, baby. We're still in the soft. I don't think we've promoted once, right? I don't think we've done a single
we haven't
promotion.
promoted once.
We're just
I'm
flying.
Now that the wedding's done, I have a schedule I am looking to jump into.
Love it.
So this is like a perfect jumping off point. But if people have comments or concerns,
I think
would love to
I think
hear
most concerns would be about copyright infringement from Woody the Woodpecker, and probably pretty worried about the lumberjack thing as well. So that's how we're looking for alternatives in Portland. I think the nights are pretty safe. The nights seem pretty safe for London.
Yeah. London nights.
I think we could do that.
King Arthur's table. Sorry about that. If you hear me crunching, I'm just eating these pretzels. So apologies for that. But if you're catching any of the chewing,
I don't know.
That's one of our sponsors, Rolled Gold. That's the pretzel, official pretzel of Going Yard Podcast.
That's right, Rolled Gold.
That'd be fun.
That's right, Rolled Gold. The tiny twist. If you see the tiny twist, you know you didn't miss a good bite. We're going yard here. We're going yard here.
Going yard,
and we're gonna twist into our next segment here, and that's gonna be fantasy football.
Now pick'ems. I think we should get into pick'ems, Alex.
We picked them.
Favorite segment.
I didn't look.
We picked them. You didn't look.
I didn't look.
Happy. One of these days you're gonna just look, and you're just gonna
I would never.
Devastating.
I would never peek.
Good. Now we had a potential score of 15 last week. Now,
did I do? I
also want to mention, Alex.
I think I did a Thursday this time.
You did the Thursday. I missed the Thursday, actually.
You're just sandbagging. You're sandbagging.
Yeah. Well, luckily it didn't matter because I would have picked Philly and they lost anyway. So it would have been a loss.
Right.
It would have been a loss.
And I did
a Philly game.
Right. Ugh.
So
sorry.
Luckily I lucked out with a wash there. But I was coming off the wedding. That's my excuse.
Yeah. By the way, you got the honeymoon coming up. It'll be in November, right? So that's when.
Yes, first week in November. So it's a delayed, like a week, slow burn. I was
just reading the listener's mind right there, and they're like, he just had the wedding and he's back home. No honeymoon.
I know.
So I just wanted to address it.
I know.
I just wanted to address it because I
really appreciate their minds. You really got it. You got your thumb on the pulse.
Now you said okay. So out of 15
out of 15
total, I'm gonna guess.
Yep.
Feel good about
it. And this is
it.
against the line. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Feel good. Because I feel like
last time I didn't. And I felt like I was getting worse. But out of 15, I think I got 10. A
little bounce back?
I think I got 10.
Oh.
I think I did it.
Now I'm going to... I like the energy. I'm going to need a final answer once you've deliberated.
Yeah, let me deliberate. Yep. And just talking to the other voices in my head. And I think I'm gonna go. We talked about it. We reconvened here. I think we're gonna go 9 because the birds, right? I picked the birds.
Nice.
So I'm gonna just do -1. -1. I got 9. 9 out of 15.
Alex, and I appreciate you chewing on that a bit longer, almost as much as I appreciate chewing on a Rolled Gold Tiny Twist pretzel. That is Rolled Gold Tiny Twist pretzels. Alex,
yeah. On a flight, on your couch, in the car.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter
where.
You'll
be flying high. Okay, so final was. Did I hear 9? Was it 9? Was the final?
Final answer.
Out of 15?
Yep. Final answer. Is it Trebek? Yeah.
Yeah. What is 9? Now you finished with 6, Alex. You had 6.
You turned my 6s to 9.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You turned my 6s to 9. That's a song, isn't it?
Oh, but you got 5.
Or 9
so
to
I beat
6s.
you. I beat you.
You did beat me. Yeah, I buried the lead. Yeah. You did beat me. But we were on the other side of a couple here. And I'm going to take this time to do something we haven't done on the show yet, Alex. But because I lost, I think it's probably important that we do it. We look at the season long.
Oh, I love that it tracks this.
Now,
you
no. Now this is we're sandbagging a bit because week 1, you and I did not participate.
Oh,
so if we show results for the last 2 weeks, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay,
we have exactly a 1 differential on our right.
So do you want
I
me,
have
do you want me
one
to,
more.
I can read it out for the listener here that's not looking
Go
at
ahead.
so Jake has a score of 42. I have a total score of 41. He's got me
And that's
by 1.
yeah.
And this is
And that is for the listener, I will say it is 42 correct, 35 incorrect for a percentage of 54.55%. Alex has 41 correct, 36 wrong for 53.25%. So exactly 1 game difference over the course of 5 weeks, which I think is pretty incredible between you and I.
And it should be noted, we do not do these together. We do these individually. We don't talk to each other other than on this podcast. We don't talk about these picks. We talk about afterwards, like after the fact, like what were you thinking, like we're about to do here. But we don't do it when we make the decisions at all. So this is eerily similar, and I think it's just a little suspicious, Jake, that the week that I beat you by 1, you now decide to show the score of you being up by 1. I think that's a little nefarious. If we're talking about hucksters,
I'm a huckster.
Here,
There we go. There it is.
Oh, he's hucking the rolled gold already.
I also did want to mention, now that we're bringing up some more details on the pick'ems, the tie break. Have you been doing the tie break?
What does that even mean?
I don't think you have.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that's
So
referring
if we go to
to
the picks matrix, at the end, so when you go to select, it's actually, believe it or not, the first thing you select. You pick the total score of the final Monday night game between the 2 teams.
Oh,
so if you and I,
never done that.
And I get the same amount, then so I put like 46 for this week. It was actually 49. So I did notice that once I looked up the total year things. I was like, he hasn't done this at all.
This is nefarious. No,
we never talk about
it. Yeah, of course. You made me go through the whole thing, and you've been doing it every week, these tie breaks. I saw that tie break score. You were at like 200 something, and I don't have a tie break score because I didn't know this was a thing. I never even saw this.
Well, I didn't think we'd have to get to that, but I guess we're within 1 game, so
Jake,
we
you
might
don't think
really...
we're identical twins and we show up at places in the same exact outfit and we've never talked about it and we didn't even know we had the same outfit. You didn't think we might have the same score? Are you kidding me? Come on.
I don't know your ball knowledge.
Oh my God. You know my ball knowledge. This
is a little gross.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
So for the games, we did already talk about, for the listener, the Philly game on the last pod, right? Because we were so devastated. It was a Philly funeral.
Brutal. That was the chicken coop. We did the chicken coop.
We did the chicken coop. Yeah.
It was brutal. It was tough. And
a lot of bad stuff. So I think we could probably jump into the Denver Jets. Did you wake up for this? I didn't.
Well, it's different for me because it's 9:00 for me, right? So it's not as
right.
So it's a little bit easier. These games are a little bit easier. I did have it on. I picked up a couple hours. I'm working. I have that muted on in the background, right? So I'm working from my computer, but I got it going on in the background. I'm whispering, RJ Harvey, come on, RJ Harvey, come on, Harvey. Doesn't show up, never does. But
I didn't hear you.
He didn't hear me. I should have shouted it. But weird that Denver didn't win by more. 7.5 line is high, but they only won by 2. Yeah. The final score being Denver 13, Jets 11. Weird game. Yeah. Weird score.
Yeah. Did you dig into any of the numbers for this? Because it was it looked like a horrendous game.
Yeah, you got your shovel out there, I see. It looks like you're about to do some digging. It looks like you're digging.
I sure am.
Yeah,
I sure am. I want to look. I think it was look at this.
Oh my God!
The Jets finished the game with negative 10 yards passing.
So the fans in the audience had more passing yards than the Jets.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, the Jets are like all-time bad this year.
Is this all
now player stats?
Oh, I have seen some really rough stuff from. Have you seen Aaron Glenn? They're really bringing back the dance that he did when they blocked that kick and still lost the game. Do you remember that dance he did on the
Oh
sideline?
yeah,
And they're putting
yeah,
that
yeah,
up there, and
yeah.
they're like, when you lose a game only by 2 points, and then it's him dancing. Like they're really dragging him through the mud, but it
Yeah,
takes a while to change a culture. It takes a while to change a culture.
takes a while, especially in New York with the Jets. That's
Man.
almost unchangeable.
So that's Fields. Is that
Um,
all Fields then? Just being horrible? Like,
yeah, I mean, so I think the big thing was they took so many sacks. Let me look at. Do they have that? Because that Denver defense, you had them against me.
I know
They had
they've been
a
good.
ton of sacks. Here we go. Yeah, I mean,
2, 3,
Cooper had 2,
5,
1.5.
6,
They
7.
had tons of sacks
That's close to 8 or 9.
across
It
the
looks
board.
like roughly. We're just looking at the individual
Yeah,
players
one and
there.
a half, 2.5, 3.5, 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow.
9 sacks. Yeah.
And
So that'll do it.
yeah,
That'll do it for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
um,
Man, Denver's defense
um,
is really good. And
yeah, I know you've got him in one league. I've got him in another league. Um, you're going to be playing him this week, I believe.
Yardley Bowl.
Yardley Bowl. Um, yeah, I feel like Denver just took a little bit of time to kind of ramp up, but we'll see. I mean, it's still a little bit worrisome that the offense, like Bo Nix, couldn't take. I mean, I guess the Jets' defense is okay. They're playing internationally. There's a little bit of an asterisk, I suppose, but
Eh.
you really were kind of hoping they'd do more.
Yeah.
Um, but they won the game. They won the game, and I think that's all that really matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now, did you watch Pittsburgh Cleveland at all? Do you have anyone in the running here? How you
Well,
what's your
for this one, I saw
exposure?
some Metcalf highlights. So that's what I saw from the
Mm-hmm.
game. Little Metcalf on the sideline looking pretty good. Um,
Yep.
but I have kind of steered clear of a very low scoring Pittsburgh offense. So the game here, we won this one. We got Pittsburgh, and they won 23-9 against Cleveland. And Cleveland's defense has been very good. I thought this would be a really close game because Cleveland games have just been ugly, ugly, like
Yeah.
just
Yep.
rock fights, it seems like. And
Just drag them in the mud.
yeah. So I don't have too much exposure to Pittsburgh offense or Cleveland even. I don't have Judkins or anything like that, the running back for the Browns.
I've got Fannin. I've got Fannin,
Oh, okay.
who I like. I actually dropped him and picked him back up because I'm an incredible manager, and this was the best, game of his season, and I didn't have him.
Right.
So I had to pick him up because of buyer's remorse, and he'll now not score the rest of the
That's right.
season.
That was
So
high water mark. Yep. Only going to get
yep.
worse. Yep.
So I'm just chasing ghosts as we have been all season,
Yep. Just
and I will continue that with Fannin. I had been on this podcast saying Fannon's solid, and he had a solid week. He had a solid little outing, but yeah, I mean, it's Cleveland now. He had 7 catches, 81 yards.
I haven't really even
Pretty fine.
seen a hand up accountability here. I haven't even seen, is it Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback now that Joe Flacco's gone? Is that his name?
Yeah. Gabriel has been.
Haven't seen
he's been
him
slinging it.
even throw the ball. Like,
Yeah.
is he good? Is he bad? Clearly, they
I
only
think he's a
scored 9
lefty.
points. I did know that. Yeah, he's a lefty.
I think I don't even know.
Yeah, but
I also unfortunately had to play Jerry Jeudy in a spot start, and
yeah, you were
he's
excited.
been
He got thrown into that other trade from Andrew, and
he was just
Jeudy.
a throw in.
Yeah,
He's a number one guy, which is okay, fine, whatever. But
is
it's the
he though?
Browns, so
Right, right.
yeah. I mean, who else do they have? They've got no one on the team. He's just been limping by with you know 8 points
But
basically. What does he average? He probably
Just
averages
wait.
7.
Just wait until Shador takes the reins in the second half of the
Exactly.
season.
Exactly, Alex.
Oh,
That's what I'm waiting for.
and he's
And then
running
we got
around.
Fannin. We've got Judy. Pew, pew, pew. We've got Ariel Ace.
Mm.
Yeah, that won't happen, but it would be fun.
You can
Would
wish.
be fun.
A boy can wish. Yeah.
Now, Pittsburgh on the other side, Rodgers has a couple of fun games a week. And this was like, do you remember in the offseason we talked about the defense of Pittsburgh, the depth chart, but then also all of their tight ends? And they have Metcalf is like another tight end. All of them.
Huge.
Hayward is their fourth tight end and got a touchdown. They had our boy Darnell Washington,
I was just going to bring him
Georgia
up.
guy.
Yep.
We love him.
Freiermuth too. But
Darnell. I remember. Do you remember back in the draft 3 years ago? Now I wanted Darnell Washington over Nolan Smith.
Of course,
you remember this?
Did. He's a 6'7". He's a 6'7", 250 tight end. Jake. He's running, but his run blocking is great. But he can kind of catch it too. Darnell, come on the podcast.
He'd be perfect
for the podcast.
He'd come on the pod. He'd be great. He'd be great.
Yeah.
He could tush push better than anybody.
And do you want to talk about a Madden franchise player or in a fantasy draft? He goes way late. You pick him up. He's your second tight end. You block. You're blocking tight end. You send him in motion on a crack block.
12 personnel.
Yep. I mean, come on, guys. Stop it. I mean, I'll tell you what. This guy, here's the guy. Yeah.
He was good. Freiermuth was good. And Jonnu Smith, we didn't even talk about. Jonnu Smith had some plays. The whole crew of them, they're very fun. They have that's why I like Warren a lot. Your guy. Never wrong, just early. I am buying into Warren.
Twisting the knife.
Yeah.
Twisting the knife for me. I still remember where I was when I was kind of trading for him, and remember that?
Preaching. Yeah. That was 2 years ago now. You're really hyped. You were watching preseason of 2 years ago, I think.
That's right. And Warren jumped off the screen. Same as, you know what it was? Same as Cameron Little, my kicker, which I will say I did try to get Boswell. I tried to scoop him. And I know last week I said this to you, and I'll repeat it for the listener. I said I saw him kick a 72-yard field goal in preseason, and I said that's my kicker, and I'm never looking back. And I locked it in, and
that was in the back of my head this weekend.
And
did you watch? Did you see what?
No, I did not see it. What was it bad? Fill me in. What happened? I didn't watch it.
He just shanked it, and my immediate thought was you ranting last week about look, I said it. I see him in the preseason, and I was right there with you. I thought he had a lot of promise, and I still think he does.
Yes.
That Jags team, we'll get to it.
So
but the Jags team looks really feisty and good.
That's right. I thought this offense would be good, but not good enough in the red zone. They'd stall out. And I thought it was a first-year head coach that would be conservative enough and have the mentality of let's just get some points on the board. This is all leading into my decision-making of the little. He's been great. He just had a -2 week, which is worse than a bye, obviously. So he's ranked 20th now. But previously, he was I think he was high watermark around 7 or 8. He was even hovering around 6 after he had a couple 12, 13-point games. So he started off kind of hot. He's very cold now, around kicker 20, I think, after that last week. Yeah.
Dipping down, but Pittsburgh. I feel like this Pittsburgh-Cleveland game. I feel like Pittsburgh is just now, definitively. What are they? Is it 4 or 5 wins now? 4-2. I want to say
they've looked good. They had Rodgers.
I saw a lot of stuff. I saw a lot of stuff on NFL standings this week about
4-1. Yeah,
just having it feeling like 2007. With the standings, because the NFL standings currently have the Patriots, the Steelers, the Colts, and the Chargers.
Oh, wow.
At number 1.
I see.
And they're like, is this 2007? You got Tom Brady, Roethlisberger, Peyton, and Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that the Patriots are above the Bills. That's
the Bills.
That's horrifying.
Yeah,
that's nightmare fuel if you're in Buffalo.
The Bills losing
nightmare fuel
to the Patriots it was a bad loss. That was a bad loss. So they have the tiebreaker on top of that. The Patriots have the tiebreaker on top of that. Um,
Yep.
and I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, looking down,
That's looking bad. But then,
that's right. Looking down at this AFC
oof,
North, it is just a decimated battlefield with only the Steelers hanging on at 4-1. The next best team is the Bengals at 2-4, and both the Ravens and the Browns are
look at
one and
this.
five. That's
Look
crazy.
at this.
Mm,
All besides the Steelers, the Bengals, Ravens, and Browns, all of them, all three of them have not won in the last 3 weeks.
crazy. So
Yeah, and it's 4 consecutive losses. The Ravens are decimated. They look like the Lions last year, except the Lions were winning. But as far as injuries are concerned, they're just getting decimated. And surprisingly, the Colts and Jags. I mean, the Colts look like a juggernaut.
yeah.
194 points. They lead the league in points scored,
Now,
um,
did we talk about this last
which is
week?
crazy.
Speaking of the Colts, they lost Anthony Richardson, right? And Daniel Jones
Oh
comes
yeah,
in. Last week, he's not even playing, and he injures his
yeah,
orbital bone with a
yep,
training band. He snaps the band in his face, is what like the headline said, like or the
yeah,
whatever he put it on, he snapped a training band into his face and broke his
yeah,
orbital bone. The guy is cursed. I have nothing other than that, other than he's
yeah.
cursed because his team's winning. His team's
This
doing great. Is it a cry for attention, Jake? Is it a cry for attention?
he was a very young prospect. He's still very young. He's like 21, 22 maybe.
Yeah.
So he's younger than, a lot of the rookies this year, Shador or Dylan Gabriel we talked about, like any of those
Super
guys,
young.
Cam Ward.
You know,
Yeah.
Jake, you know how like in
So
elementary school kids play with rubber bands on their hands and stuff and they snap each
sure.
other? That's how young he
Uh-huh.
is. He's still snapping rubber bands in his eye.
Oh no. Oh
I do
no.
feel for him.
Yeah.
I that's
He feels
that's
like a
got to
little
be
bit like
tough.
Trey Lance, maybe a little Trey
Oh,
Lancey,
oh man, yeah,
right?
kinda.
Doesn't it? It's starting to get there. We'll see. Because Trey Lance was also young, and the whole thing was, yeah, he didn't play a lot, but the raw ability, blah 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 blah. Um. So anyway, we will go into the crazy thing here. We've got Arizona and we've got the Colts. Now we both have the Colts, but they didn't cover the spread.
6.5, right?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So Arizona, I'm trying to remember now. I mean, Arizona, they have been losing in horrendous fashion
So I'll give the score here
lately.
for the listener. For the listener, it was 31 Colts, 27 Arizona. So they only won by
Mm-hmm.
4, not getting our 6.5 spread there
Yeah.
to cover. But
And I mean that NFC West is hilarious now because Cardinals started 2-0. They've lost 4 consecutive. The rest of the group, all 4-2. The
well,
Niners, the Seahawks, the Rams. Now, the interesting thing is I feel like the 49ers, like their point differential is negative.
yeah,
Like they have so many injuries and they're hanging on by a thread. The Seahawks, I think, might be the strongest looking team. I mean, the Rams are really solid, but they just lost Puka.
that's pretty tough.
Um,
I don't know how long. Do we know how
yeah.
long? Do you know? You have an idea of how long that might be for them?
I've got Devontae Adams, so I hope a while, but no, I'm not sure.
Do
I
you though?
think,
Because he's going to get a lot of double coverage now and a
yeah,
lot of
that's
attention. I
true, but
don't know if that's good for him or not, but we'll
I
see.
don't know. I think it is because just Matt Stafford and a number one receiver is just
But Jake,
poetry
I
most of
traded
the
him
time.
away, and when that happens, people get hurt, right? I jump
Oh,
off
yeah,
Titanic,
okay,
okay? So this is me rooting against
that's true.
somebody that I traded away, and this is nothing but spite coming out of my mouth.
Well, there you go. So you can't be wrong.
Right.
So that's
You can't be wrong.
um anyway, but yeah, I do think Seahawks look the best in that whole division. Um yeah, the Colts, I mean, they beat Arizona. Arizona looks very bad. Kyler is hurt and
Oh,
looks like he had Jacoby Brissett come in,
yeah.
and Jacoby looked like he was the one making the comeback.
Right.
It like the team kind of popped back into place. Um, which
But
is it's
then
just bad. I
even
think
Marvin
Kyler's
Harrison, I
just
think, didn't Harrison get a concussion as well? I don't know if that was this game or
yeah, he didn't
last.
play a lot of it.
And
Yeah,
so
so they
they're
were
kind of dropping like flies too.
ugh,
Obviously, Connor already went down for the year. Benson after that.
Benson.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and so it's just
Also, Gannon is punching people on the sideline.
Demarcado. He's punching Demarcado on the sideline. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Vibes are not good
Uh,
there. Vibes are not good in Philly either. I just shoehorned them in there, but vibes are not good in
there you go.
Miami either. Miami, it looks like,
Yes.
which is the
And they're our
next
next
game.
one.
Yeah.
They just lost to the Chargers. Now the Chargers, God bless them. I honestly think they would have been more of like a juggernaut. I mean, they still do, like we talked about, have the lead in the division. They're tied with the Broncos, but they look really good. But they're just too many injuries are really stacking. Like you start with the tackle Slater, then you go Joe Alt, then you go Marion Hampton, and
He'll be back.
it's really brutal. They've been rumored for a running back trade. I heard Kamara action.
That would be
I
devastating.
heard
Oh no, that would be devastating for
yeah,
me. And my
yeah,
O'Marion Hampton exposure is high. You know that.
yeah.
You know that.
Well, I think who knows? Who knows? Maybe just someone to back him up. I don't know. Who would have thought though that man, we had both those running backs coming in, and it is funny. You and I, you had so much. You were so upset with me last week about Haskins, and it didn't even matter.
Vidal.
It was Vidal,
Vidal, or however you
Vital or
pronounce it.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah, yeah,
I got him. I did pick. I was able to get him in one league, I think. Couldn't get him in all the leagues, but I do have him. I believe in our LA league, the Fellowship League there of the ring. But yeah,
yeah.
Haskins turned out
There,
not to be the guy, so that was a surprising. That was like a big
I
surprise for
know.
the Chargers there.
Now, I am hoping they just kind of adopt more of a pass heavy attack, and they keep doing that. I think we talked about that last week. I think Lad, man, they had a really nice play there. Herbert had a sidestep, throws it to Lad, and Lad had a ton of run after the catch. Um, Game winning play at the end
I
there.
saw them do kind of
And
like a scramble drill. He got a touchdown this past week. I saw that where Ladd was in the end zone, kind of like a broken play. He's scrambling right, and Ladd's just kind of sitting in between zone defenders. So,
yep. And I think that was what ended up winning the game for them. Was that play?
Because they won 29-27 against Miami with a 4.5 spread. So another thing. So we got the teams right. You know, like with this, I wish this was a separate category of it if it was straight up, no spread
Yeah.
points. You know, because
Yeah.
we keep
We'd
losing
probably
on
be
them.
close to like 75%.
Maybe even I'd say like 90. Right. Right.
There you go. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We'll split the difference 80, 85.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Chargers, I think they're continuing to make it. I hope they can get healthy because they're a really fun team. I love Herbert. I love Hampton. I love Ladd. I think Keenan Allen is a really fun story as well. Now the next one, Dallas, Carolina. Did you have any Dowdle revenge game stock, or where were
You
you? Were you?
you warned me, Jake. You warned me last week in the podcast. You said Carolina's good this year. You said it. You said they're sneaky. They're
And I
better than
picked them.
people think. People are sleeping on
Yep.
Carolina.
Yeah.
And I continued to be sleeping beauty. I was my head on the pillow and I picked Dallas over Carolina. And yeah, I just thought Dallas could beat this team. I did not have the Rico Dowdle revenge game um, as an outcome.
I
I didn't see that coming.
I'm very upset because I had one trade a couple weeks ago. I traded for Chuba Hubbard like 3 weeks
Kiss
ago,
of death.
and
Ugh.
and the second I got him, I think I traded Addison and Pacheco because I needed a roster spot. It's a 10-person league, so it's a deeper league.
Okay.
Um, so I traded Addison and Pacheco for Chuba, and I was able to get. I think I needed a quarterback or something like that, so that helped me as well. But it was brutal because I had to immediately put him in the IR spot. I pick up Dowdle.
Okay.
He gets 31, and I was like, hell yeah, hell of a ride, brother. Salute. I drop him. And I was like, I have Chuba. I don't need him. It's a 10-person league. It's so deep.
Okay.
And so I have so many more players where I'm like, I'm not going to need insurance. I just need to get rid of Dowdle. And the second I drop him, someone else picks him up, starting lineup, and no one thought he was going to repeat that.
No.
He had like 200 yards again.
That's crazy.
Dowdle.
It's crazy. You know what? We know I knew when I didn't know enough. So this is when the ignorance shed from my face. I saw at the end of the game, I saw Rico Dowdle hit his helmet off. He's watching. It's the highlight of him watching the game-winning kick to beat his former team. And I saw there on his face, he has a piercing on his cheekbone. And I said, if I had known that ahead of time, any running back that has the moxie to pierce their cheekbone, like right below their eye, that's someone you want to root for. And that's someone that's going to put it all on the line. They're going to put their body on the line because they've already done it in the pierce shop. You know, they've already.
They already know they've got the chutzpah to really get in there. I just think it's funny. Like both these teams, I just think Carolina is a more balanced team at this point. Like Dallas has such a good offense. They didn't have CeeDee Lamb, but man, Pickens went bananas this game. Pickens went.
He looks great.
Yeah.
He
looks
he's jumping.
like
he's jumping over people, and he's jumping in weird directions, and he's catching the ball clearly, just stabbing it out of the air with his hands. Like he's making.
I think I texted
plays.
you like he carries it like an ice cream cone. Like it's just like the one side of the cone. You know what I mean? Just the one side of the ball. He leads the rest of it exposed, just to drip on the ground. And he just running around. He's hurdling people. He's like, he got one hurdle and then he tried again. He was just and he looks like he reminds me of like one of those big stretch characters from like the Street Basketball Volume 2 kind of game where he's just jumping like crazy and he's doing these crazy dunks. Like that's what he reminds me of. It's like this big, long, like stretchy athlete that can just jump and like, has all this personality. Even just like, it's not even like what he's saying, or it's like just the way he plays has personality.
Definitely. Definitely. And I think he's, I mean, it's not good that CeeDee Lamb went down, but he's probably happy to be the number one guy for a while here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, CeeDee's coming back, I believe, this upcoming week here. So we'll see. Yeah. I think it's good that he got some play, and then CeeDee comes back, and now they got the both of them. Honestly, Jerry Jones is a genius if he's playing fantasy football. If he's playing fantasy football, he's a genius.
One of my biggest regrets is you and I both said in the offseason, Dallas, they traded Parsons. They're going to be the Bengals from last year.
Yeah.
We said that.
I know.
And we didn't. I feel like I didn't do enough.
It was tough to get their players. And also, I didn't believe in Javonte. I did not believe in Javonte Williams. And I was dead wrong about that. I did think those two wide receivers would be good. I thought maybe the passing offense would be good. I thought Javonte would be like a mix and match goal line guy, not this like bell cow that he's become. It's not something I saw coming.
Especially with Blue there, who has been just healthy scratches the whole way through.
Yeah. And Miles Sanders goes down.
Carolina is fun. I do want to mention my boy Tet has been really fun.
Yeah.
He ended up getting a touchdown, which was nice.
But with like
he's
14,
been good for like
14 fantasy points.
He's like but he's so consistent. He's just consistently getting that. And I kind of like their offense. Like Carolina has this fun young core because they invested in their offensive line in the free agency. They got Hunt and some other guys. And just like these
Picard.
unsexy kind of names, but just improve the offensive line. And then they've got Ted, who's a legit number one. Then they have Coker will come back from injury, be a slot guy. And then they have Leggett, who is a two. So you kind of have like this young little core with Bryce Young. Then you've got Chuba, Dowdle, and they also drafted that guy, Jonathan Brooks, out of Texas. He never played last year.
Right.
But
The running back.
they've got they quietly have some things kind of brewing.
Yeah.
But
they keep surprising me. I'll need to stop sleeping on them. I don't know who they're playing this week, but when we do these pick'ems here, have to consider the Carolina Panthers.
I just think they're undervalued. I don't know if they're like amazing. I just think people think they're the worst team. What are they? 3-3 now.
500, yeah.
Yeah. And that division's winnable. Like the Bucks have so many injuries, although the Falcons look very good. I think the Falcons,
they're finally doing it. Penix is better than Kirk Cousins was last year. They're finally what they were hoping to be with all of these playmakers that they've like high draft pick on Bijan, high draft pick on Drake London, high draft pick on Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Like they're all there now and they've been there. I think it's starting to come together. Yeah.
The other thing too is like they have Terrell, the corner, but those edge rushers, they drafted both those guys in the first round. Everyone was just saying they were so dumb because they traded like future first round pick for, I think it was Pierce was the one edge rusher, and I can't remember the other one, Mikael Williams or something like that. But two edge rushers, and their defense actually looks really solid. I mean, we can look at it later on, but they held Buffalo to 14.
Do you want to just kind of jump to that game now? We'll go out of order and skip them later. But like that was a fun game. That was that Monday night game that I was telling you about with Drake London going off. Even Algier he started off the night with a touchdown, and I remember thinking like, oh, Bijan, no, he's gonna have a horrible night. And then Bijan runs for like seemingly 200. He had a 180-yard run, which that'll set you up for a huge week. And so they had exciting fantasy playmakers on their team. Kyle Pitts did not have a good game, but he still shows flashes even when he's not kind of doing it. And Buffalo, dude.
I think they have surprisingly, like what everyone has always talked shit on, Arthur Smith, I believe his name is. He was their old head coach. And then he now is in Pittsburgh. And he was before the Falcons. He was with the Titans and Derrick Henry. And I think quietly what he does is he really improves the offensive line for the team he's at. And I think with Atlanta, they were very bad with Kirk Cousins, but I think he really improved their line. I think Kyle Pitts hasn't been doing it in fantasy, but I think he really improved as a blocker than when he came in the league. And now I think that's why you're seeing such an amazing breakout from Bijan too, is like they have one of the best right guards in the league, and Lindstrom is an incredible blocker. He can pull, he can move people. And they have like the stalwart that has been there forever in Jake Matthews. Has been there for a long time.
The legacy of the Matthews family. Yeah.
Yeah. And that guy is aging like a fine wine, like some of those tackles are able to. And he's one of them, I think, that just continues to play at a high level. And they have some other guys too. But anyway, I think that's a really cool one. Like they had those playmakers, they drafted them, but their offensive line is actually really solid as well. So I think that and their defense, like they pushed their chips in because they traded those future firsts. So they put some talent on the board for them to develop. And I think the defense, like they should really compete, especially with the Bucks losing a lot of players to injury. Like I think they're poised. They're probably my favorite after this week and what they showed. They're only allowing 100 points. That's second to the Vikings in the NFC.
So you said that they're your favorite for this division, do you mean? For this, just their division? Is that what you
for
mean
their
by
division for the
right?
NFC South. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
over the Bucks, which I
Mhm.
think is the surprise there. I mean, they have had their bye week. I should mention that. So their points for and points against are going to be lower. But anyway, yeah, really fun game. Josh Allen. Now I wasn't watching a ton. I'd love to actually jump really quickly into how I watched. I
Mhm.
don't know if you want to have
Oh,
anything crazy or rack your wild, but
sure.
um, I ended up popping over to our buddy Jared's place.
Mhm.
Um, so Lisa and I go over there, and they actually have our wedding photographer they're going to use as well.
Mhm.
And he's an English guy.
Great
He did
guy.
our wedding.
Mm.
Really great. His name's Archie. Him and his wife Abigail do great work. And they well, he stayed in California. He went to Yosemite. He did some climbing. He does like bouldering.
Of course he
Um,
does. Of course he does. With that
yeah.
hair, of
So,
course.
so he did some climbing. He was kind of hanging around, and so he stayed at Jared
Hanging
and
around. Go
what's
ahead.
it? Yeah, exactly. He stayed at Jared and Brittany's place, so we got to hang out with him his last night and watch those Monday night games. But he's English. He has no idea about the rules. So
He doesn't know.
we're trying to explain to him, and he's asking the most specific questions of like, so like, why is that a fumble and not like a forward pass on like a quarterback who had like this
Mhm.
minor thing? And he's asking all these like really like small random questions. But the funny thing was that Jared, right before the game, he's kind of giving him the lowdown on the teams, and he goes, "Yeah, so that guy right there, that's Josh Allen. He's the best player in the league."
Oh
Fast
no.
forward to the game, and he's just
Oh
like, the
no.
team is losing.
Brutal
He's
night.
so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a brutal night. Luckily, we did get burritos. We walked across the street, got the street burritos.
Ah,
Ah,
nice.
just an incredible Monday night. Um, but even after that, the games go on. We watch that. I was in the showdown against Casey, and Casey and I, we come down. We are tied at 99 points apiece. He had Jaden Daniels, and I had Bill Krosky.
Oh my goodness. Couple of commanders,
Now,
huh?
the funny thing was, it's a double Monday night. He also had Caleb Williams, and I had Swift. And I texted him before the game, and I said, "If you play Caleb, I'll play Swift." And I was like trying to get him to play Caleb over Jaden,
Uh-huh.
and it would have won. Swift had a great game, but it didn't happen.
Alas.
So Jaden crushed it. Bill Krosky did not show up. He got the touches, but the production wasn't there.
The Serpents of the Sea win again this week.
They certainly do. But we did have some fun games. I'd love to. Maybe I'll tell at the end about
Yeah, we can
some
get into
fun
like
party
weekend,
games.
weekend stuff at the end here, because we
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
were previously in
Remind me.
Carolina. Yeah, I'll remind you at the end.
Yep.
But I'm getting us back
Yep.
to the Rams Baltimore, which I mean, we could do a moment of silence for Baltimore here if you want.
Mm-hmm. It's just. I
It's
mean,
bad.
luckily Derrick Henry had, I think, he had over 100 yards.
Oh, we're looking
So
for moral victories. Oh, okay. We're looking for moral victories now. Okay. They scored 3 points. 17 to
yeah,
3. We got that one right. We
I
both picked the
know.
Rams, but
Yep.
I guess fantasy wise, you're probably happy
It's
because you
just
got Derek, right?
Yeah, but Cooper Rush looks really bad. They go into a bye week this week, by the way.
Whew, good.
So
Good.
they needed it, and hopefully they can get a little bit right. But they got to do, like we talked about earlier, like they are in the worst shape I've seen them in years in the Lamar era.
Yeah.
1-5
Yeah.
is disgusting
It's
for
not
them.
impossible to climb out of because their division's really bad. And it's like, how much do you really believe in Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers? Because that's like their biggest hurdle. And they get, have they played him already? Because they get to play him at least one more time, right? So they can play him directly and try to
Yeah.
gain some ground, So they're not dead in the
Yeah. I
water.
mean, I feel pretty good. Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is like the AFC West seems like it has a lot of like wild card spots it's eating up.
Yeah, it's just to win the
Like,
division. That's the only way they get in. They got to beat the Steelers, right? For the right
yeah,
Ravens.
I think so. And they got to like win out. I mean, they'll have to bye. They pray the Steelers lose. And yeah, I mean, that's the NFL, right? Is like every game matters. That's
Hmm.
why it's so compelling. So 1-5 is brutal, but not impossible. Um, yeah, we'll see. But man, do they need Lamar back in the worst way possible? Derrick Henry is probably screaming at the top of his lungs that it's just not the same team without him.
Hmm.
It's just brutal, brutal stuff. Now, did you watch the Seattle Jacksonville much? Did you dabble in this game?
I dabbled a little bit. I think Seattle, like you said here, I believe in them as a squad. I think their defense is quite good. And Darnold, it took me a couple weeks to see it. He was my fantasy quarterback last year. So I can
Yeah,
get down with some Darnold if he's in the right situation. I didn't know if this would be it, but Smith and Jigba looks great. Um,
legit.
he looks
Yeah.
very, very good. Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet are kind of doing their classic, like timeshare in the back,
Ugh, I
and
hate it. I've got Kenneth in one league, and it's brutal. I mean,
it's
I
it's
just
not
even I
Kenneth.
just
It's always been his situation. It's never been about Kenny. It's always been his
yeah.
situation in fantasy. He's always been,
Or
yeah,
or his injuries.
right,
Or his
right,
injuries.
right, right, right,
Yeah. But
yeah.
him, the player, when he's playing, is awesome.
He's jumping over people
Um,
like full on
yeah,
hurdles, trucking
yeah.
people. He looks good. But Jacksonville, fun. We love Jacksonville. We were rooting for him.
I love both these teams. I really like. They're
Yeah.
both in this really sweet spot of like, and I want to check their records because um, Jacksonville is 4-2,
Hmm.
and they're right against the Colts there. Um, and they're in like a really nice spot. And then Seattle, I mean, we talked about that division already a little bit, but 49ers look decimated. Rams lose Puka.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean,
It's their defense.
they have the most points. They have the most points in the
Hmm.
division here, most scored. JSN, like you said, looks great. Cooper Cup had his first touchdown last week.
I did see that in
Um,
the corner of the end zone. So yeah, they've scored 166 points and only have let up 117, which that
yeah,
is a great differential. Like that makes you feel good. That means this 4-2, they're all tied at 4-2, the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. But like Jake said there, the Niners and Rams kind of trending downward, where the Seahawks seem to be trending upward. It's a more,
I could see
yeah,
it depends how bad the Puka injury is, but
right,
I feel like the Rams are in a better situation than the Niners because the Niners are losing a lot of people all the time. Like Brock Purdy, Kittle is finally coming back, but Juwan Johnson, Ricky Pearsall, like the whole team is just.
yeah.
They just lost Fred Warner. They lost Nick Bosa.
For the year,
Yeah,
that's really
Nick
bad.
Bosa. Yeah,
How do they
that's going to
do it? I don't know
be.
how they do it because what is going on in San Francisco where it seems like they always have a lot of injuries. Like this is
I feel like
weirdly,
I feel
oh
like
god,
Shanahan's those old school like practice really like practice like you play kind of coaches,
yeah,
and I think everyone's always banged up. Like
yeah.
everyone's always questionable or whatever. Um,
McCaffrey's oddly
but
still healthy this year, which is the anomaly.
yeah, it's like the opposite of last year. It felt
Right,
like
right.
last year they had everyone else, but they didn't know McCaffrey. Um,
So yeah,
but
so
yeah, both those Seattle and Jacksonville are they're fun darling teams, I feel like. They're both
yep,
like they they're very likable. You've got the Travis Hunter is like a really fun storyline. Brian Thomas is really fun. You've got that defense seems like it's really feisty with Walker, Javion Walker, and then also um always forget Josh Allen
Hines Allen.
Hines.
Yeah, Josh Hines
Um
Allen. Yeah.
Hines Allen.
Yep, yep.
Thank you. Um, but I think they're a really, really solid team. And then Seattle, like the whole Darnold thing is really fun, interesting. They lose Metcalf, but then they pick up. I think they became more of a defensive team with
Mm-hmm.
like they got Demarcus Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, their secondary is very solid, and um, but man, JSN, I did not see him elevating like this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he looks incredible, like a true, true number one.
Yeah, that blew me away. And then in this next game, so New England and New Orleans. So New England wins 25-19. We both got this one with the 3.5 line.
Yep.
New Orleans just not terribly good of a team, not terribly talented roster. And then on the other side, New England, Drake May is really, really having a year. He looks
Oh
very
my
good.
gosh.
And he's got Booty that he's throwing to of all people. Um, Booty look like he's having a little renaissance for him. Um, Hunter Henry as well, and they're just kind of clawing, scrapping together. Rabel looks good. Rabel looks like he's doing a good job there. You know.
Yeah. He I was really excited a couple of times. So I had Drake May. I started him week 1 in the LA League.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually started him over Herbert just because of the matchup.
Yep.
But those were my two guys. I ended up losing Drake because I ended up needing the roster space because we only had the couple of roster. So I
And
moved him around
I
and
picked him
I
up.
picked.
I picked him up after that. I
Oh, nice.
I played him for the Jordan Love bye week, and then I dropped him. And now
Yep.
for the same spot, I already had a quarterback for roster space, and now he's on another team, but he's having a great year. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's the thing with him that I was like, I know he runs, which I liked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just kind of like, I feel like their team, like their strategy, they don't lend for fantasy play.
Yes.
And that's why I was just leaning away because I was like, I think he's super talented, but I just don't know if the situation's going to lend for fantasy value. But it has. And the brutal part is, I have Trayvon Henderson, who,
Mm,
again, is the situation, not um, the player as much.
right.
Like it's still kind of like the jury's out on how good he is, but he's just getting, neutered as far as his play time and what he's able to do. So I hope it changes the second half of the year as the year kind of wears on. They start to run the ball and just see what else they can do and try new things. But I man, Drake looks awesome and surprising. New Orleans is so weird. They beat they beat the Giants and like held them scoreless, and then
Mm-hmm.
the Giants beat the Eagles, and then New Orleans loses to New England. I don't know. They're
Yeah.
just in a weird like they kind of play to their competition. It seems like,
Kellen
but
Moore's first year as well as the head coach there.
yep,
Rattler, I don't know what to make of Rattler. We talked about it previously. I'm not going to rehash it, but I don't totally root for the guy. He doesn't seem terribly talented, or like he seems pretty good, but not great. Um, Rashid Shaheed is okay. Olave okay, pretty good. Their whole team is just kind of blah to me. Like
yeah.
just their playmakers
Well,
and stuff, you know.
I I feel like this was the kind of kiss of death for Kellen Moore going in because this is all the repercussions of kicking the can down the road financially,
Yeah,
which the Saints did for several years. And so the reason they're doing this weird quarterback thing with like fifth rounder and I forget what Shuck is. What do you remember what round he got
I
drafted?
can look
He
it up
was
here, but yeah, I'm not
but
sure.
I think the reason they're doing these cheap options is because they're still paying for like freaking Michael Thomas and
Oh
like
my God.
all these other players that like they just they kept just deferring the money and the bill finally became due. And so it's just kind of like, okay, let's see what we can do with like what we have, whatever. We'll try and build a young core while we get out of debt. And so I mean, Rattler is like, I think I'm a little bit higher on him than you are, it sounds like, just from your description. I think he's very toolsy. He's like, he's got a good ball. Like he can really just flick it and it goes a mile. Um, so I kind of like that, but he's kind of Carson Wentzy where he'll do that to his own detriment and just throw an interception. Like he can buy time, but then throw a pick or something. Um,
So
so
I
like,
I looked it up here, and for Shuck here, it looks like. Do you want to guess how old he is? Do you want to guess how
oh, he
old
was
he?
an old rookie.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was an old rookie. I think he's 26
you nailed
as
that.
a
He's
rookie.
26
Yeah,
from Chandler, Arizona, but he was a second
yeah,
rounder. He was a second rounder. Um,
yeah.
it's a little bit
Wow.
higher up, but
I feel
man,
like
yeah.
they're just trying to address. They needed to address the quarterback situation in a serious way. And so I think between like Rattler was like a fifth rounder the year before or something, but he was one of those guys that had high pedigree in and he kind of blew it in college a little bit. So they were kind of trying to rekindle the flame of what his former prospect profile was. And then you kind of couple that with the exact opposite, which is like this older, more established guy in Shuck, but I don't know. I mean, Kamara's older. Like I mentioned earlier, he was a good trade candidate because it's kind of like, what's he doing with this team? Kind of whatever. But I don't know if he cares as much about winning. I think he kind of is just like, I'll just get the bag here, and I like like I've set roots here.
Hmm.
Like I'll just play it out. Um,
Right, right,
but
right, right.
who knows? If he gets traded, I'd be devastated because I traded him away. But if he went to, like I mentioned, like the Chargers, he'd be incredible,
I'd be
you know?
devastated with that trade too, but for my Hampton stock. But I tell you,
Yeah.
yeah, if he went to a contender and did some like ring chasing kind of stuff, he could really have like a whole swan song. I think he's got that much left in the tank, and
Yeah.
he's talented
Like
enough.
he's almost like he reminds me of like Cordero Patterson a couple of years ago. Like
Oh,
that third down back
mm-hmm.
who's older but
Yep.
has a lot left in the tank kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like
Hall of
I could
Fame
see
returner.
that for him.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um But New England, they actually I just have so much I just love Rabel as a coach and I think their defense, like I think he's just gonna put them in the right situations. I'm just so worried. They have the easiest schedule remaining
Do
in
they
the NFL.
really?
Yeah. Like
Wow.
I actually want to bring it up. It is a wild like the rest of it is the easiest in the NFL by like a
Do they
landslide.
play the
And
Titans? Do they play the Titans three or four times? Like, what's the schedule for them here?
so they end up having they play the Titans this week.
Yeah.
So they play the Titans, the Browns, the Falcons, the Bucks, the Jets, the Bengals, the Giants, the Bills, the Ravens,
Uh,
the Jets, and the Dolphins.
wow. So I'm
It's
looking at
their division.
one, two, three, four, five, six. I think seven of those teams are like below 500, even like only like two wins from the
Yeah.
Titans, the Jets, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Dolphins. Are probably around there too. Um,
The Dolphins are bad though.
yeah,
Excuse me for a second. I dropped something.
yeah, that's all right. And the Buccaneers are really the only team, and the Buccaneers are brutally beat down with injuries. It's just Baker. I mean, we can talk about it. Baker's probably the MVP through 6 weeks here. We'll see how the rest of the season shakes out. Um,
I know
mm,
we've got that on the docket here for Baker, chatting about him because I
God,
had some fun observations watching him.
have to
So
talk about it. I mean, he's
so
just had
maybe
that kind of week.
because we will touch briefly on the Tennessee Vegas
Yeah, so
game,
I'll give the
but
score here. Yeah.
now. God bless Alex. I don't know if I told you this. So Saturday I go golfing with Casey and Ken. We hit a little 9-holer.
Uh-huh.
Um so that's how part of that Saquon trade happened was we were chatting, the
Oh, you
three of
guys are on
us.
the links getting business deals done, huh?
we were getting business deals
Handshakes
done.
done, huh?
Yeah.
Couple
So
brewskis in the
we were
system, I bet.
exact. We actually didn't. We actually didn't. We had a little bit of a trek to get there, but we were we hit the links. Now, surprisingly, we hit this spot and it was like a 9-hole, but it had some decent fairways. So not like our par 3 course we used to
Oh,
do, but
Rancho Park,
little
shout out.
yeah, not a little bit longer than that, but it still kind of had similar like, all right, these grounds weren't incredibly maintained, whatever. But at the end, the little clubhouse is just like a shack, and they had burgers and a menu that Alex, I shit you not, I've lived in LA since 2019. Best burger I've had in LA
No.
was at the shitty
This little
golf
municipal
course.
course, this little
Yeah,
music
just this
course.
shitty. Alex, I would go there again just for the burger.
No.
I shit you not.
Describe it.
They have a
What's going
sign.
on with the burger, Jake? What made it so great? Was it the bun? What
th-
happened? What
They
happened?
had they had a bacon jelly they make in house.
Okay. It's pretty good.
They
Good
had
start.
Yeah, they had a little setup where they had like a back. I feel like I was at the back porch of my buddy's place who had a flat grill, and they just had like flat grill. You could tell it was like it was like a chef who had done like legitimate things. It was just kind of like fucking around.
I love
It
it.
just kind of felt like a chef that was just like, yeah, I live locally. I love this community or whatever. But yeah, I was in France. It felt that way. I don't know if
Yeah,
he
I was
was,
in
but
France.
it felt like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got the
But
grapes for the jam, for the bacon jam, from
yeah,
Bordeaux.
yeah. But oh my god, we had this just incredible. It was so. Now I say this all because we're chatting about the rest of the weekend, and Ken and I are trying to iron out a little deal for Saquon. We're trying to figure it out. Casey Casey goes Casey goes, yeah, well, I have a flight tomorrow. I'm doing a day trip to Las Vegas
uh,
to watch the Titans and the
uh,
Raiders.
I
He had a
know.
buddy.
I saw
So
the
God bless
pictures.
this
Oh
man.
man.
He he
Oh,
flies to Vegas. His buddy got him tickets to the Allegiant Stadium, the new
man.
stadium, which he said was very
It
cool.
looked awesome.
Uh,
I liked you had a
yeah.
comment. The stadium looked like it had just been unwrapped. It looked brand spanking new out of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Serious. And I think because it's in the desert too, it's just like clear skies and just sunlight just
Uh-huh.
beaming off of it.
Uh-huh.
And Casey actually, he just got the new iPhone. No free ads, but he got the new iPhone 17. The photos were incredible.
Mm.
I don't know if you saw some of those in the group chat, but you could see Genty doing his standing up stance.
Oh, I did see
And
that. I did see that. Yeah.
you can zoom all the way in and see like the definition, like on his jersey, his arm, like
I thought you were going somewhere else. You can zoom
somewhere gross.
all the way in. Yeah. Yeah.
No, but yeah, I say that all because I love his dedication to the Titans. This might have been one of the worst games. If
Yep.
we didn't watch the Jets go negative 40 yards passing, this would have been the worst game.
When your quarterback
Um,
comes out last week before he buys the ticket and says, "Man, this team is ass," when he says that about his own team, the
was that
quarterback,
Cam? Did Cam Ward say that?
Cam Ward, said that, yeah, in a press conference. Like,
Oh,
it was something along the lines of, "We played like ass," but he said "we ass" in some capacity, and that's just a bad mark. That's a bad stink on the team,
yep.
and that's just to me. As far as pick'ems go, you chose Tennessee to get this. I'm not choosing Tennessee as we go forward.
I
I chose the Raiders defense because I had the Texans had a bye. That's my defense in one of the leagues. The Raiders
Yeah.
defense got me 20 plus points because that's how I think of is Tennessee now is whoever they're going against. I'm taking their defense if I have a chance, kind of. You know?
I just honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I was talking with Casey before we went to the game, and he's such an optimistic. Anyone is optimistic about their team, and I was like, the Raiders aren't that good. The Raiders are shit. Um, and so I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I could see Tennessee kind of pulling it out, and like they have a deceivingly okay defense, but no, 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 no. That offense is. I mean, their head coach got fired. Head coach is gone.
I think that's actually great. I think he's been a
Yeah.
real bad nepotism because remember Callahan? That was Bill Callahan's son, I think. Here, let me look it up here
Who's
before.
Bill? Who's Bill Callahan? I
Let me
don't
look it
remember
up
him.
before I start. He, I believe, was the Raiders head coach. Um,
Hmm.
let me go back. So
Funny. It
Raiders.
was funny though because Casey had a beautiful emotional hedge because he had Genty in fantasy, so he
Mhm.
was just kind of like, well, if my team gets lit up, I hope it's Genty, And luckily, I think that was the case. Genty had a pretty good day.
Yeah, Genty and the defense are quite good. Um, believe after who was it that took over after the Raiders fired John Gruden for his 0-2 Bucks? And then in the Super Bowl, the head coach of the Raiders against the Buccaneers that we just talked about wasn't, I believe that was Bill Callahan. I think that was.
Oh,
So let me look it
oh, oh,
up before
oh!
I
I
talk
didn't realize
out of
that.
my rump. Let me just look at all. Let me fact check myself real quick.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, the other thing with this was the week I really realized that Geno Smith does not have it. Like he's had it the last few years with the Seahawks, but this looked like put a fork in him and he's done. Also, Jacoby Myers has not been playing well. Um, it makes me really upset that I traded away Trey Tucker as that throw-in player.
Oh, did he have
I
a good game?
identified him.
Or
He's like he had that one crazy game where he got 42 and then he was on waivers for everybody. I picked him up and that game is kind of buoying him. He think he's at like 10 or 11 the last couple weeks.
Mhm.
Um and so he's still like a top 15 receiver in the league by points in fantasy, but it's mostly that one big game. Um but I think Jacoby Myers is not really playing that well. And so I think he's kind of a de facto one. I think they're in a position where they want to develop talent.
Mhm.
They don't want to just. So I think they're really like they're okay throwing the ball to Tucker a lot.
Right. That makes sense. And I was able to find the information. So Bill Callahan is the father of Brian Callahan, who is the head coach that just got fired. So it was a reverse nepotism
Yeah.
where the son got hired as a head coach, hired his dad as the offensive line coach, but his dad
Oh,
was the one that was the head coach of the Raiders, which he was the offensive line coach. John Gruden gets fired. He takes over as head coach. They go to the Super
oh,
Bowl and play John Gruden, and John Gruden decimates him in the Super Bowl.
oh! Wow.
So that was the same guy, but yeah, so his son just got fired and was pretty inept, I guess. Um,
Is his dad still there then?
I don't know if he got fired with the staff or not. I am curious. I don't know.
Could you imagine he stays around or whatever?
And then hires his son as like quality assurance. He just got demoted. He got fired and then rehired back below. He got demoted. Oh.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so that game's kind of whatever. Now, we did want to chat about this a bit. The
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay San Francisco.
Yeah.
Um, we were touching on this a little bit ago, but San Francisco finally the cracks are showing, and Baker looks like the. I mean, all the buzz after this game was he looks like the MVP.
Okay.
Is
So
Yeah.
you did your experience. My experience with this game was very fun. So
Okay.
the 1 o'clock games kind of happen or whatever, and I kind of watched those. I worked in the morning, like I said, and I had the TV on in the background. Then I kind of put it on upstairs. These later games, Dad is like, "Are we gonna watch football and smoke cigars outside?" Heck yeah, Dad. So I I cast it up. I cast the Sunday ticket, and it's between. I'm explaining to him Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals, and I go, "That's Joe Flacco." He goes, "I know him." And he goes, "Yeah, he's 40 years old." And so we're like, "Come on, Joe! Come on, Joe!" And that was pretty fun. And then I described Baker Mayfield to him. I'm like, "This guy is football, like the way he's got a real
Yeah.
attitude." Because there's like a highlight of him talking crap, and we're watching Baker, and he makes the play that I think everybody was talking about, um, where
Yep.
he's rolling around, he breaks one, maybe two tackles in the pocket, he scrambles, he breaks another tackle, he dives to the first down, he gets up. I think you said last week he is the human personification of smelling salts. And and on that play, he gets up, he just fires a first down indication, like, like first down, he fires his hand for it. And then the next play, he rips it to back up Tez Johnson, who nobody, like, he's got fifth, sixth. Tez Johnson just picked him up in the league. He fires it to Tez, and man, he is keeping the whole team afloat. And Dad and I are yelling at the TV at this point because that was just football. We're like, yeah, great run. And then he rips the next play. And I'm like explaining to him, like, this is like the backup's backup that he's throwing to. Ikbuka's down and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
He's great. He's awesome, man. Just awesome.
Oh, I'm gonna crack one in honor.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
He's fun
just in honor of Baker.
Yeah.
He is. I'm so jealous of Aaron has had this Bucks run of, it's crazy. The Bucks have gone from like Winston to Tom Brady to who was in that in between? I'm trying. Oh,
did they have a bridge?
Fitzmagic?
Did they have
Fitzmagic?
Was
or no?
Well, he was on the Bucks, but I it's tough. All of the Fitzmagic years bleed together from like the Bills and the Dolphins.
Years ago.
Yeah.
He played with Deshaun Jackson on the Bucks, I think. Anyway,
right.
They have been just an interesting team. It's been fun because they have this very defensive coach in Todd Bowles who keeps them very competitive, and I feel like they were the ones that like had this amazing infrastructure for Tom Brady. They have this awesome like defensive minded coach, but they've also had Mike Evans and Godwin, and now they got Igbuka. They have Wharfs, and this awesome offensive infrastructure. And yeah, I mean, to me, I wrote in the notes here, that play and Baker in general, I realize is just, it's Gen Z's Brett Favre. Like they never had Brett Favre.
Love that.
He just, and you know what's even poetry even more? Do you remember he recreated the draft day for Brett Favre?
Laying in the bed.
Baker.
He had the jorts on. I know exactly the picture. He created the picture with the old phone, I think he had.
His inspiration was Brett Favre, and now he's doing Brett Favre plays.
Oh, you really just opened that up. That's a great point.
And the other thing too is, like, Brett Favre struggled initially. He was on the Falcons, and it took him like a couple of years. Now Baker had an even longer road.
I forgot.
Baker had an even longer road of like getting traded, but he finally settled into a spot, and now he's just like finally maturing enough to a point. Now I said Wrangler needs to jump on this immediately.
Yes.
I looked at it like I've been a Levi's man since Favre retired.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like Wrangler. I also looked up. You know, Baker does not have a jean sponsorship at the moment, so he's open. I mean, I'd love to broker this deal for the two of them. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just a match.
Take 1%, 1 or 2%. Just take 1 or 2%.
2%
for the podcast.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And you start off with that draft day recreation. You start off with that.
The jorts.
And they're in exactly a Wrangler jort. You've got a Wrangler jort. How great.
They need a better image because unfortunately Brett Favre has really tarnished his reputation.
It's
in
true.
the
It's true.
predecessing years. So you could kind of sell it like this is the new guy now. He's going to take
Yeah.
over. He's going to take the
Yeah.
mantle and kind of clean up your image here a little bit because he had all those good years on Green Bay, and and that's actually the
But
next thing.
man, even
Yeah, go
even stylistically, isn't he so similar to Favre though? Like this was
No,
like Favre had an MVP year. He had a couple.
do
Um
you remember
eh,
in How I Met Your Mother the glass shattering moments where they hear a pet peeve and it breaks a reality and then that's all they can focus on? You just
yeah.
created a glass shattering moment for me where I go, now I'm just going to see Brett Favre when I see Baker Mayfield now. Now,
Yeah.
after you said that, it kind of broke the glass for me where I was like, oh yeah, he is doing Brett Favre. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good timing for the take as well because this is the highest he's ever had to MVP status
Mm-hmm.
because he's just carrying this team
Mm-hmm.
and it's a good team and yeah, I mean he's got the draft pedigree, he's got the tools, it's just yeah, it's pretty fun, very very like Brett Favre in his prime. It's a shame what he did after, his career or whatever, but he was one of my favorite players,
I know.
when he was playing. Like,
John Madden loved him.
just,
Everybody loved him on the field
do you
during his
remember
career. Yeah.
against the Raiders when his dad passed away?
We were in New York. We were in New
We were in New
York.
York.
I
We were
remember the
in New
game.
York.
I
We
remember.
watched, I think it was Monday night. It was Monday or Sunday night. It was
And
a night game.
John Madden is gushing over him. And why would
Yeah.
you not? He should have been. Is what
And
you should
his
do.
wife is in the
Yeah.
box
Yeah.
and he threw like, I think it was 4 TDs.
After his dad
But like
died.
in
Oh,
short order.
right.
Like, yeah. Um,
Oh, what a
oh my
gladiator. At that
gosh.
time, pinnacle of being a gladiator, football.
Yeah.
It was like,
Well, he didn't miss any games as well. Iron Man. Well, that's the thing, he had painkillers.
I
Baker has
know.
smelling salts. You know what I mean? They
Kind of the
go
same,
kind
yeah.
of they're
Legal
big
performance enhancing
but
drugs, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um, so anyway, but the Bucks are likable, fun. Hopefully Ibuka, for you, I guess it doesn't matter. Does it come back?
I
You
got
don't
rid
want
of
him
him.
though.
I got off the bus,
Yeah.
and now this
Yeah.
is part of it too. We didn't talk about this when I got rid of him. Godwin was gone. Evans was gone. These guys are starting to come back now. So if
Yeah.
Igbuka comes back, is he the third receiver? Is he the fourth
Right.
receiver?
You don't even know. That's why I was actually upset because I traded away Godwin and I was like, oh no, Igbuka's gone. Godwin's going to get some. Like, I was excited for Godwin.
Yeah.
I bid for him pretty high in our league and I got him, but he was kind of just a trade piece in the end. But okay. The next one, Green Bay Cincy. This was pretty straightforward. I ended up getting this just because
The line. It
of the point differential.
was crazy.
Just 14
And a
and a
half.
half is
That's crazy.
nuts.
That's wild. I
Yeah.
still picked the
Yeah.
Packers, and honestly, they weren't far off. They were 9 away, so
Yeah.
they were close, but they
Touchdown. Yeah.
yeah.
There was I'm trying to remember the touchdowns because
But I will
for
say
Cincy,
the Cincinnati, if you watch this game, like I said, I was watching it with Dad. Joe Flacco has made this Cincinnati team a little bit more watchable, and
yeah.
that was his first game there. He's
Yeah.
gonna make Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I think he's gonna be like a watered down version of Stafford, where he's like a
Yeah.
kingmaker for fantasy. I mean, where
Yes.
he's just going to sit in the pocket. And I listened to a press conference where they asked him about Jamar Chase coming in the huddle and calling his own plays. They asked, "Hey, is
Oh
Jamar
wow.
Chase coming in and just calling his own plays?" And he had this really political, like, good answer of like, "No, we're going to run the plays we get in there." And he goes, "But when I get on the same page with Jamar, if he wants to do some hot routes, if we want to talk about stuff, I'm just going to say, you know, yes, sir, let's do what you want to do." And so I think Flacco is very much wide receiver first type guy. And
Yeah.
I just see this team looking a lot more respectable than they have with Browning. So they
Yeah.
looked better against Green Bay, even though they lost 27-18. It was closer throughout this game. Um, than the final score indicated here. So they look respectable.
Yeah. I hope so. I have T. Higgins, and he's been very disappointing. He's
Sure.
been very just average. I really hope that's the case. I would love that because, I mean, the team's got a lot of talent. They just, man, the whole Burrow thing just sunk them. And in Green Bay, like, I mean, Jacobs, I think, had a big game, right? He had like 29, 30 points in fantasy, something like that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He had some
Yeah,
points.
you traded him. That's why you're. That's why you're. That's right.
No.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I have
But
the Jordan
Igbuka,
love.
but
I
Igbuka.
know. I know. Yeah.
um, yeah, he was pretty big. I think Golden had some big plays, if memory serves. Golden kind
I
of got
think
in
that
there
was
a little bit.
Golden's best game. Yeah, I think that was Golden's best game this year.
Yeah,
Typical Green Bay, spreading it around. A lot of guys kind of
yeah,
getting mediocre fantasy days. A lot of guys getting average fantasy. Which if it was all one
yeah,
player, it would be this superstar. But it's like spread out amongst all the stars, kind of.
yeah. And Watson comes back. He should come back either this week or next week.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big. That's big for them. Um, in addition to getting Reed will come back probably a little bit later than that, probably like
They
November
have so
time.
many mouths to feed. It's so hard. It's so tricky because they have
Yeah,
Dobbs, they have Golden, they also have like Tucker Craft as well.
yeah, he's great. Wicks.
Wicks, so many guys. And then like we just
Yeah,
talked about Jaden Reed coming back and Christian Watson coming back. All these guys are around the same caliber. It's pretty deep. Yeah.
yeah, pretty cool. And then KC Detroit. This was supposed to be like a big, prime time fun game, but I felt like KC really kind of
Yeah.
handed it to him, right? Like
Uh,
they look really good. Hollywood Brown, ugh, I had him on my bench. I cannot get that timing right. And now
mhm.
Rashee Rice comes back, and
Oh no.
it's just a lost cause. We have no idea, but yeah, Patrick Mahomes, number one fantasy quarterback. Have you seen that? Like
Well, he's
he
running so
is.
much now. If you watch this game, he's
Yeah.
running a lot. He's running with purpose. He's not like looking down. He's just like, I'm going to do it myself. And he's looking great doing it. I will say this game had some really questionable calls. Did you see this lovely package that Detroit ran out where there was a wildcat motion Jared Goff and then Montgomery throws it to Goff? He catches the screen pass and then
I
Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the best blocks I've seen on a screen pass. It's probably on the 5 or 6 yard line of the like right in front of the goal line there. He kind of bobbles it and catches it on Amon-Ra's back almost. Jared Goff does, and then stumbles into the end zone. Great play. Everybody's celebrating. Called back. Illegal formation. And there's a couple
ugh.
calls that I feel like Detroit kind of got screwed on in this game. Um, so I don't
I
know. Yeah.
I unfortunately didn't catch it, but I that was the one where the group text was like, "Did they just run the Philly special or something like that?"
Similar,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, something like that. But so I didn't catch it. Did they shut down Gibbs pretty well? I didn't even see, but
Well, Montgomery actually got some good play in this. They did real, I mean, we could look at the splits here. From my perspective, I didn't watch the whole thing. I was kind of going in and out of the game, but I felt like Montgomery had some good play, but it was time of possession. I felt like Kansas City had a lot of time of possession there. Um, they kind of like let's look at it here. We're looking at the pass yards,
yeah,
rush
it looks like,
yards.
I mean, total yards, yep, passing, rushing. They kind of. It looks like, I mean, not a killing.
So
Time of possession
penalties
looks like they got.
0 for the Chiefs to 4 for
Yeah,
38. And
yeah.
do we have time of possession there? Does it show that or no?
It was at the bottom. It looked pretty even,
Oh, that
but that
is
might have been
even.
towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
It might have been towards the end of the game where, I mean, Goff, 2 touchdowns,
I
200
guess
yards.
I guess they did
Gibbs
kind of
had
bottle up Gibbs. Yeah.
65 yards on 17 carries, 3.8 on the average, which, interesting, Montgomery is getting, six a clip. JMO kind of had a little coming out game, which is kind of fun because you had him,
I
right? You just picked him up.
just picked him up, and we talked about this last week. Nick drops him and then kind of panics because everybody was trying to get Jameson Williams. I happened to win the auction waiver there, I think with $20 um in that auction, and he was on my bench. I have too many receivers around this caliber where I don't. It's like whack-a-mole. I don't know who to put in at
Yeah,
what week.
play.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra had a quiet game for his standards. I mean, 9 catches is a lot, but just 45 yards. And then the Chiefs. I mean, 3 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes. He also had 32 yards of rushing and a rushing touchdown, so 4 touchdowns. Now, the other thing is, Kelsey really comes in, has a big one. Hollywood Brown with 2 touchdowns, 45 yards, 4 catches.
Did you see the fight at the end of this game?
Yes, honestly, that's probably the most I saw from the game. Was now it's funny because they kind of framed it as like, oh, Branch ignores Patrick Mahomes. It was like, no, I think he was so fixated on Juju. Because like they're probably like he's a slot receiver and Branch is probably lined up on him. They were probably going back and forth on a couple plays and a couple things. And he was probably just pissed about what was going on.
Yeah.
But the broadcast immediately after was like, oh, Mahomes is, and Juju didn't like that Mahomes was passed up for the high five. It's like, what? No.
No, Juju is also an antagonist. Remember?
Yes.
Juju always is an antagonist. This happens. Bradbury, and he's tweeting
in
at
the
him.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's tweeting at him afterwards.
Yeah. He's a what they used to call him, like a Twitter boy or something, or like a TikTok boy.
Well, he used to do the TikTok dances early TikTok. He was doing the TikTok dances in the middle when he was on the Steelers still, in the middle of the field before the game, and then they lost, and he got torched for dancing.
What a weird career he has had.
Definitely.
Where did he go after the Steelers? Because didn't he ever stop before the Chiefs? Or did he go straight there?
Oh gosh. Yeah, because he had like a whole donut in the middle of his career, I feel like, because he was good, promising, young receiver, and then
he came in very young, I remember.
Yeah.
Like he was like 20.
And he's doing TikToks in the middle of the field, and people didn't like that. It felt like T.O. Remember early T.O.?
Long Beach. He's still only 28.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's right. He was on the Patriots.
Oh.
Wow. So he went Steelers, Chiefs, Patriots, back to the Chiefs.
Oh.
But that first Chiefs stint and the Patriots, I think, were the kind of like.
Oh, wait a minute!
I think
he was coached by Snoop Dogg in his youth. No way, Snoop. He was on one of those Snoop teams because he was in Long Beach. Wow.
Yeah.
Long Beach Polytech High School afterwards.
Yeah, what's funny is I wanted to like him so bad when he was younger, and like he seemed like a fun up and coming, and I've since gone away from him, but the Snoop Dogg thing is very redeeming to me.
I love it.
I'm like, oh no, well maybe he was pretty good actually. Oh my gosh. There's been a couple of those Snoop Dogg guys because they're like in the league now. There's been a couple of those stories come through. Juju's not the only one. But yeah, it definitely just seemed like Branch and him were just got into it, and then
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if Juju just got in his head or whatever, but
I feel like Juju instigated it. Brian Branch kind of made it physical as I think he was intending, throughout the game. But yeah, that game was not as close as I would have liked. Thought that was going to be more of a nail biter, and it kind of wasn't as much.
Now we have the Buffalo, Atlanta we talked about a little bit. Chicago, Washington we talked about a little bit. Swift had a good game. Jaden Daniels had a good game. Chicago pulls it out. It's a Hail Mary redemption game after last season.
Right, I forgot.
So
now, I was very happy. This was in the rain. They kept getting shots of the mist swirling at the stadium there. I think this was in Washington, right?
It was. Yep.
So this was at like FedEx Field, I think. And
one of the worst stadiums.
And on top of that, it's bad weather, and so the fact that they got Moody coming in as a kicker, who's like coming off of like just a disgraced tenure with, I think it was the 49ers, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
And he blew a lot of kicks, and he was disgraced and run out of town. He's picked up off the practice squad. Their kicker, Chicago's kicker, goes down. It's raining. I think he had missed a kick earlier in the game, maybe. So leading up, that was an exciting game-winning kick. You know, that was like,
and the most exciting like 39 yarder. You know, like
right. That's what
it
it
wasn't
means.
very long.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't like it was like a 50 yarder. It was like normally a pretty makeable, but all the circumstances and the context you laid out, everyone was like, this could go either way, and it might be a miss. I think it's probably a miss.
Yeah, yeah,
or
exactly.
a block.
It's definitely not like a sure thing. And kudos to Caleb for kind of driving them down.
Yeah.
This year, I don't know. Jaden Daniels, the magic is starting to wear off. I think it's getting close to midnight. I think.
Well, he also missed 2 or 3 games already.
I know.
With injury.
I know.
So I think part of his shine is that like he's just not there. He's not around. But the games he has played, he's been solid.
I came up with this. I didn't write this down. I wanted to say this on the just give it a test drive. RG5. He's number 5. Yep. He's number 5, and he's the next iteration of RG3, where he had an amazing rookie year. We're going to have to see RG3 for the next decade. And then he gets a bad injury. It slowly starts to fall apart. In and out. And then it all goes apart.
Jaden Daniels, I mean, we said this last year too.
Right?
Yeah, we said this last year too, but the injury on top of it is, I mean, that's NFC, part of the magic of him is he can run. And if he's injured and he can't, then it's kind of like, half the game is kind of taken off a little bit. But I don't know. It's interesting. I kind of hedge my happiness a little bit. I have him in one league, and it's been kind of brutal. I mean, he's been okay. Like he'll show up, and when he shows up, you're like, "Oh, this is cool," but he hasn't been like game breaking or anything like that.
He's got a high floor.
I was ready for this.
High floor in fantasy for him. Mm-hmm.
I was ready for this with the Commanders. Like they have one of the oldest teams, and they went to the conference championship. They were just so due for regression.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that phrase and hating it, but I just felt like their team as a whole, like I just didn't think they were gonna continue. But I don't know. What are they now? Because
they're if they won that game, they would have tied us in the division, the Eagles.
Yeah.
I will say this. You know who's not due for regression until he's 55 is Bobby Wagner. Watching that game, I when we were saying due for regression going into this year, I was thinking Bobby Wagner. He's like the heart and soul. That guy is a clear Hall of Famer, absolute Hall of Famer. Easy first ballot to me.
You mentioned RG3. Do you know who they had on that defense? Who was the Bobby Wagner?
London Fletcher Baker, baby. London Fletcher Baker.
The old veteran who had a full career and then undescribably had another third of his career when everyone thought he was supposed to be done.
Jake.
And now I have heard he did reach out to London Fletcher. Bobby Wagner has talked to London Fletcher about his longevity, things he did, like mentality, workouts, like how he approached it. And so there is a lot of crossover actually between those two. But isn't that crazy? I mean,
the reflections that you're bringing to this episode are excellent. You're bringing the past and the present, and the fact that they spoke to one another, that that Bobby's reaching out to London Fletcher. The mirroring of careers of Jaden Daniels and RG3 with those two. I even thought about London Fletcher Baker in a very long time, and just wild to me. Now, London Fletcher, is it London Fletcher Baker? Am I adding the hyphenated incorrectly? Is it just London Fletcher? I know it
I
was
think
London
he always went
Fletcher.
by that, but I
I thought
think
he
he
added the
was the
Baker.
hyphenated.
Didn't he add the Baker at the end?
Um, yeah. Now let's see. London Fletcher shares the message Bobby Wagner sent him years back, asking if he would chat about what made Fletcher successful. So yeah, Bobby Wagner reached out to Fletcher in looks like 2019, um, and it looks like he was like asking about what made him successful or whatever. Um, and it looks like they eventually meet. I don't know how.
Wow, I like Bobby Wagner a lot. The way he phrased this, he goes, he DMs him and he goes, "What's up? Hope all is well in your end. Followed your career a lot and truly loved the way you played the game. Wanted to see if we could chop it up about things that you did to make you successful. No worries if not. It's no, sorry, it's not too good. It's no too,
He said, "No worries if it's a no too, man. All good."
right." And then little blessings hands. Like, what a nice guy. What a great way to ask.
Ah,
And immediately Fletcher goes, "Best time to hit me up in the week is before 4." Gives them logistics. They immediately go into how do we get to link up. Great,
yeah.
great stuff. Great stuff.
And that's back in 2019. So he might have still been with the
Seattle.
Seattle. Who knows if London Fletcher had a little bit of you know, influence in him going to the Commanders. I mean, also Dan Quinn, obviously, is the big thing.
Right, that's right. That's right.
But that's a huge, huge thing. But pretty fun. Pretty fun to see like how that kind of comes back and they end up it's so crazy. I feel like the NFL is so cyclical. You have a lot of like, families involved, like where we're now watching the sons of a lot of players. And what's funny is I feel like we didn't realize we were watching the sons of previous players before that. But now we've watched long enough that we know the dads, and we're watching, the
We've
Matthews.
seen like two
Yeah.
generations now live.
Yeah.
Kind of been watching for like 2, 3 decades now, and
Mhm.
you kind of know them more intimately because you saw their fathers play, which is crazy. Like Asante
It was it
Samuel, like those kind of guys.
The craziest thing to me is the Trotter in the Super Bowl doing an axe on special teams.
What a
Like how
poetic.
poetic was that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just
It's so beautiful. Now, do we want to chat birds at all? Because I know we had a couple of things. Zedarius Smith retires out of nowhere.
mm, mm.
And we get that going on. So I don't think we chatted about that, right? When would that happen? It's all blurring together for me now.
It did happen after the podcast. Apparently, I heard from the Phillies special guy. So Zach Berman is where I got this information. Apparently, there was some personal stuff in his life, which was the purpose of the retirement. He could be saying that he doesn't want to trash the team if the reason he is um, like retiring is because of the Eagles locker room, or he was trying to ring chase, and the hope is that he's not just quitting on the team because he doesn't see potential in them. That's like the hope that it's not
Yeah.
that. That'd
Right.
be worst case. So we'll see. Hopefully, I put some names down. I hope Ty Robinson steps up. Would love to see him out of
Yeah.
Nebraska. That would
A
be
little bit
cool.
different position, but yeah, he flashed. He had a nice little pass breakup. Was that 2 games ago now? 1 game ago? 2 games ago?
Oh, I don't even know. Yeah.
Um,
Um.
I think it was that Giants game.
Okay.
So I think it was him, but really fun because that Giants game was an all out loss, right? But you had some young guys kind of get some time in there,
Mhm.
which was a good developmental kind of thing, which was kind of nice. But you had some other guys here too.
Yeah, Ojima, Jalix Hunt, maybe even maybe Campbell could slide. We've talked about this before. I think it's starting to get spread around too now that Dean is coming back. So Nakobe Dean coming back as middle linebacker, maybe moving Jahad Campbell to his old edge position like he was at Alabama even though they've said they liked him a lot at middle linebacker, and he's got pretty much every rep at outside or middle linebacker. Maybe moving him to edge to cover up the Zedarius Smith retirement hole that they have now. So,
It would be
yeah,
interesting. Now, would it be crazy if they moved Bond and they have Campbell and Dean? Like that's the
another
future of
option.
the team is
Yeah,
Campbell and Dean in the middle, and you move Bond, and Bond becomes this crazy kind of edge guy who I don't know. I don't
am
know.
I
Could
crazy? What if we get
potential.
Munden in the game? There, we get Munden,
Smile. Yeah, I
Smile Munden.
would love to see some reps of him. I think he'd be really fun. I mean, we got to get, Jalen Carter back. Not having him is such a
We.
there's no teeth.
It's
There's no
more.
teeth to the defense.
Yeah, it was more injuries because also our lockdown corner Quinyon Mitchell is gone, and like the team, I feel like was reeling. I'll make every excuse in the book right now. It was a Thursday game. It was at
Yeah.
MetLife. They just played a hot game in and beat the Buccaneers, or sorry, they just lost to the Broncos um, prior to that. So it was just a long week. The boys, I think, are exhausted. I think
Yeah.
the if we could get through this little stretch here, the last two games between Minnesota and then the Giants again, and just get to the bye week, and if they even just win one of those two games, maybe they lose to the Vikings again, it's Armageddon, but then we beat the Giants, and we're like 5-3 sounds kind of nasty, but if you look at our division, it's not like it's just nasty because we have Super Bowl expectations.
Expectations. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right.
So
Now, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? What's your expectation? What's your prediction for the Vikings game this week, and then also the rematch before the bye with the Giants?
So much of this is dependent upon injuries for both teams, right? Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell on the Eagles, like we just talked about. Which quarterback is going to play for the Vikings is big to me.
Carson revenge game could be fun.
That would be the way to sell the tickets. That's how you'd sell the tickets. Now, here's a little bit of a tangent. I saw a rabbit hole of Andre the Giant, the wrestler, the gargantuan one.
Love where I'm so excited to see how this ties in.
The Princess Bride he's in, right? People
Okay.
love Andre the Giant. People go, is it true that he had 100 beers in one night? Yeah, it is true. And people are thinking, man, that's going to be really fun to drink with Andre the Giant. No, Jake, it wasn't fun. You know why it wasn't fun? Because his body was failing him. Okay? He was drinking not for pleasure, but as a painkiller. And Andre the Giant was trying desperately to get a surgery. But who? Who but the huckster, Mr. McMahon, comes in. He comes in and he convinces Andre the Giant to go to WrestleMania 3 and delay the surgery for his ailing back that he's drinking hundreds of beers to try to quell the pain of. And he says, you're going to fight the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, Jake. Not the Huckster, the Hulkster, Jake. And it's Hulk
What's the
Hogan.
difference?
What's the difference? They're the same thing. Because the greatest huckster and the greatest showman is not Jackie Moon. It was Vince McMahon selling this fight because this was giant versus giant. And what did they do? They needed a revenge match afterwards because Andre took the fall. He heroically and quietly and nobly whispers to Hulk Hogan. He goes, smash me. And he lets he this guy can barely move. Hulk they're in the ring, they're fighting, and he's whispering to Andre. He goes, stay near the ropes, because he had trouble getting up. So he knew if he stayed near the ropes,
Yeah.
Andre could get up along the ropes. So they'd stay along the ropes, and then Andre goes, do the smash, and he picks him up, and with every last strength, Andre jumps up into his arms to really sell the smash of Andre onto his broken back. That is a hero That is someone putting their body on the line, and that could be Carson Wentz coming back to the place or coming back to Minnesota, but against a team that was once his home. You have the jersey. You just got it out, the Carson Wentz jersey. He could be Andre the Giant, who quietly gets cast aside as the heel, which I learned the heel is the villain, the person you're not supposed to like in wrestling.
Yep.
And that could be Carson Wentz here. He'll be the heel for the game. He could be Andre the Giant. He's not a huckster. Yeah.
What I got from that is incredible tangent. Second, is Carson Wentz about to drink 100 beers before this game?
I think so. Jake, it's
I
Minnesota. It's Minnesota. They don't have limits to their drinking.
They don't have. Yeah, they do not. They do not.
No limits on their cheese and no limits on their beer, baby. They're called the Milwaukee Brewers for a reason.
I do think, having said that, there is a solid case McCarthy might play. There might be. Now, I think they sell the tickets, and the only reason it's not said is
McCarthy era. Come on, McCarthyism, baby. Here we go.
I was bullish on him going into the season. He had that like comeback thing, but he played terrible the first 3 quarters of that. Let's see, 3 hours ago. Looks like Carson Wentz fully participates.
JJ limited.
JJ McCarthy limited.
Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant.
Is he about to get slammed? Is he about to get slammed here?
And dude, WrestleMania 3. Look it up. Look it up.
I have to, yeah. That is just incredible stuff. Now, do you want to get into snap count stuff here? It looks like you got a couple things real quick.
Yeah, we're kind of circling back here a little bit, back to the Eagles stuff. And I had put here in the show notes the snap counts, kind of thinking or estimating who would fill the void for the Zedarius Smith retirement.
Yeah.
And looking snap count percentages and things like that, it looks like on defense, Nolan Smith, prior to his injury, was getting about 35% of the snap counts. Jalix Hunt, about 63%. Now, Azeez Ojulari, Patrick Johnson, almost identical, 63 snaps both. No, it is identical. And they're both at 15%. So I think both of these guys could bump up to playing more snaps, closer to like 25% for each of them. Ojulari looked good. Same with Patrick Johnson, looked good in preseason. I was high on him in preseason the last 2 years. If Patrick Johnson could become a guy, he might get a real number rather than 46 because he still has that practice squad number. And Uche's in the mix too. He's got
Uche had a really highly graded start to the season. Like advanced metrics and stuff really liked. Yeah, they really liked Uche. And I think that's just because of the, Carter and the defense around him, playing well. But that's going to be the same for whoever steps in there. And so if he's stepping back into that role, that's great. I mean, Zedarius Smith had a nice, 2 games for us, 3 games where he kind of stepped in. Thank you for your service.
Jake, now that he's gone, I can say it. He would get half sacks and celebrate like it was by himself, like it was his sack. I think he's trying to get credit. and I didn't like that. And I never brought it up. But now that he's gone, I think I can spit on his grave.
There you go. Yeah. He was never good, actually. If you actually think about it, he was never. I do think he had some juice. He added a little bit. I think this team, and this is the problem with a lot of like Super Bowl or like teams that have made it far, is like if you want to keep that team together, you kind of have to lock them all in long term. And when that happens, things seem to get stale. Yeah. It just seems like offensively, especially, things just feel very stale. There's not a ton of like new blood, and like Zedarius felt like just a breath of fresh air as far as like he came in, had energy, and everyone else is like, cool, man. Like, that's great. Like, everyone else just seems so tired. They just seem like they're kind of doing whatever. And I hope after the bye week is when, I mean, that's what historically has happened. Like last season, like I listen to a lot of different podcasts. There's fantasy podcasts, NFL, like national, Philly, local, and a lot of them are like, and when you even mentioned at the top of this podcast, is the vibes are so bad in Philly,
Uh-huh.
but they were the same thing last year. They
Yeah.
were the same after 4 weeks. It was the same, and I'm not saying they're gonna fix it, but I'm not. I'm just saying like I think it's an overreaction to think that they're dead in the water.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
like, like they're still leading the division, and I think they are like, I just trust Vic Fangio a lot. Like he is another person that the start of last season, the defense looked kind of terrible, and then he made that Cooper DeJean switch, and it
Uh-huh.
really clicked. And I think he's just waiting to make those moves as he wants to see what happens before he then makes the moves.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I mean, besides Keely Ringo, I think everybody could still has like I have optimism for Keely. I don't have
Yeah.
optimism for, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. Um,
Yeah.
and then also I would say this that yes, they could make those changes as well, but like last week was a trap game of all trap games. A Thursday night against the Giants, a Super
In
Bowl
MetLife.
hangover in MetLife. We got injuries to Carter again, to Quinion. It was such a trap
Yeah.
game, and we went up against some sociopathic rookies that were
Yeah.
playing their Super Bowl, and the Giants had so much more to play for than
Yeah.
the Eagles, who, like we said this last week, were playing a marathon. They're running their marathon, and they just
Yeah.
went up against a couple sprinters, you know? And
Yeah.
they, yeah.
Exactly. I think that's exactly. I'm also so excited for the rematch in Philly.
Oh,
Um,
oh
and
my
it's
God.
and
Oh,
it's in short order too. I'm
yeah.
very excited because now it feels like hopefully they're finally motivated. Like they're
Mhm.
really motivated. Like they haven't been motivated for a Giants game in like 4 or 5 years. It feels like.
No, there's been a
Um,
couple. There's been a couple late season, um,
That's true. That's
where
true.
and they've
And
been
when they
good
had that
games and stuff.
playoff run, when they
Right,
had that playoff run with
right, right.
Dable's first year, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I,
Daniel Jones
I
had he
think,
did Daniel Jones did start good with Dayball. Like there were some good moments there, you know.
yeah. And the irony with Danny Dimes too was when he ran and tripped, and he had that whole thing. The irony of that play is he was having a good game and he was gashing us.
Yeah.
Like the irony of it is like he was really doing. And yeah, you're right, they have had some good games, but I'm just thinking of like some other like DeVito games or like end of year type
But
things,
you,
but
you're right. End of season, the end results, the Philly has been a lot more successful than the Giants, and the Giants have had a really long, unsuccessful, like 5 years here, roughly. Right? Like it's been pretty
yeah, I
tough.
think
Yeah.
right before Dable, like that Gettleman era
Yeah.
really, I think, hampered the team, and then they just haven't been able to kind of kick it really.
Right. Right.
um is what it's felt like. But I feel like, I don't know. The rematch will be really fun. Dart looks awesome. Scatterboo looks awesome. They don't have a receiver. They really have to figure that out. Man,
Yeah.
that sucks for no neighbors. You want to talk about like historical RG3, London Fletcher, like OBJ
Mm,
and neighbors,
mm,
incredible rookie year, immediately injured right after. I
mm.
mean, I think it's MetLife.
Dude, they
MetLife,
gotta get a new
everyone gets
stadium.
hurt.
It's like also not fun. I would rather the Giants have healthy players, even though they're rivals. I'd rather
Yeah.
want to beat the team. You know, I'd rather the Eagles want to beat the team, not just like an injury kind of ruins the game for
Yeah.
everybody. You know, and same with the Eagles players that got injured on the field. Like it's like yeah, it's because the players come out and say it. But did you? So I kind of skirted and tangented around the prediction of there a little bit. I think they They probably split, but I don't know which games. I think they win one of their next two games, and then they kind of like meagerly limp their way into the bye. Um, but it's not like they're dead. It's just the same that we've seen. It's the same feeling we've had, which is like they're showing flashes, but they're not quite getting it done. So that's my prediction for the next couple weeks here. Do you have a prediction yourself here?
Now, do you know, is the Vikings or Eagles, is that home? I'm just looking it
It's
up
at
right
the
now.
Vikings. It's at the Vikings. It's in Minnesota for that
Okay.
one.
Yeah, that's going to be, and that's at 10 a.m. That'll be tricky because the Vikings have Flores, who really likes to do,
A lot of blitzing.
the lot of blitzing. It's either like zero. He does like an all or nothing, where like he brings everybody or he brings nobody,
Yeah.
and it's just all this coverage,
Hmm.
and he's trying to disguise it so you think it's one thing, and you either throw into coverage or you run into a blitz.
Hmm.
Um, and one of the two, or he just gets you, he gashes you with the sack on a blitz as well. So, um, I don't know. We'll have to see because, man, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts have not been on the same page. I mean,
Uh-uh.
um, Saquon has yet to really break out, but I will say my prediction. I think Saquon, they go all out blitz. He breaks that first line and houses it. He's due for it,
Hmm.
and I just traded him, so it's guaranteed.
Yes.
It
Perfect.
is
Yes.
guaranteed. Um, so I think he'll get past it, and I do think he'll have a good game. I think part of the reason I was able to trade with Ken was because we both thought he was going to have a good game, and like we said with trading, like sometimes I was trading for the rest of the season and getting Bucky Irving back, and he was trading for this game to try and win a game while he's
Hmm.
got guys out. And so I think he'll have a good game. I'm curious if Quinyon Mitchell is gonna play
Yeah.
because they've got Justin Jefferson, they have Addison now,
Hmm.
and they don't really have. I mean, they do have Mason, but they lost Aaron Jones. So they do have kind of a thumper, but they don't have like that
Hmm.
change of pace guy.
Right.
And I don't know, man. The Eagles defense looked really bad against Scatterboo. He was laying into them, and
Yeah.
it,
Bond.
it was
Bond got run
yeah,
through, and that was disheartening.
yeah.
That was tough.
They just didn't have the same urgency. They did not have
Mm.
urgency. They were just going through the motions, and he was in the right place for most of it. He just didn't have the aggression.
Can I
Um,
can I say this? We're talking about the Bond. There's one Bond hit where he's going in. He's on one side. He's got one side of Scatterboo, and on the other side, Adoree Jackson makes a business decision, and I just don't like that. I don't like Adoree. I maybe in a dime package against a fourth wide receiver, put him in
yeah,
there
yeah.
as our second receiver in like a base package trying to play run
Corner.
defense. Thank you. A corner, trying to play run defense um, in a base package as a corner, just tough. Just a tough look. It's just like, I feel like they
Yeah.
run towards him, ran at him, threw at him. Keely, no better.
Yeah. It's tough stuff. I mean, I think Bennett, ironically, was paying the best out of everybody, and he got hurt. And I think that really kind of hurt the team. And then having it just, again, they just lost so many people last year, and losing Slay. And
Uh-huh.
then, dude, Isaiah Rogers was a big loss.
I know.
He was a big loss. He had one of the best games for the Vikings.
I was gonna
This will be
say
the rematch.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had the same
yeah,
realization. Yep. Ugh.
yeah. So this will be an interesting rematch against him. He knows Hurts. He knows the offense. He knows AJ. He knows Devontae.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it'll be tricky. I do think the Eagles win, and I definitely think they win against the Giants. I cannot see them dropping two in the
Uh.
season,
The
with where they're both at. So I think they win this week. I think it's a nail biter. I think if Carter plays, he can shut down Jordan Mason a bit. And then I think the defense will stop Jefferson and Addison by committee. Like the corners are going to get beat. I think they'll definitely. I think Addison might have an amazing game because if Quinion plays, if Quinion doesn't play, I think they'll both have good games.
Yeah.
But I do think this is the game Saquon gets back on track. I think it's the game. I hope Landon Dickerson is back because he was a little bit banged up. I think they win. It's going to be 27-20.
Wow.
I think
you went full on score prediction too. Wow.
The Vikings. Eagles, Vikings. I think Eagles win. Yep.
That's big.
What do you think? Do you have a score?
How do you say that? 34.
Have you done your pick'ems yet?
No, I haven't.
Have you done your pick'ems yet?
No, I haven't.
Well, I won't share the screen then.
Oh. 34-27 Eagles. So a little bit higher scoring.
What did you say?
34-27 Eagles. A little bit higher scoring than yours.
So they think it's a 1.5 point game. It's closer than we're both giving it.
But we're Birds fans, baby.
We sure are. We sure are, Alex. And we also are. We're a couple of hucksters. We sure are.
We're a couple of
That's
hucksters.
Going to be the That's going to be the episode. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time on Going Yard.
See you guys.